I just realised I didn't drop us out, so we've all come in at the same time, haven't we?
We're all here at once, mate.
That's
I
right.
was just laughing at how many times I'm drinking wine on them fucking
No, don't worry. Yeah, no, normally I drop us all out, don't I, and then bring us in one at a time, but never mind. Oh, well. Never mind. Like, it's been one of them days. It's been one of them days today. Like, nothing's gone right. So it doesn't sound like it's just me either. Yeah. Right, before we get going, I've got to do this because Martin's here.
Hello, little old lady.
Hello.
Hello, Martin.
That's you now, Martin. Every time you're on here, that's going to get played.
Oh, okay.
That's like your little trademark now. Right, let's have a look at the chat. What have we got in the chat? So we've got Mr. U-Star, Alex. How you doing, mate? I don't know what this guy wants. He can just go away. Was that Nerdy's dragging his heels? So be here in a mo.
Yeah, you were super late, so I just blamed you.
I can't believe this. Like, that's the first time I've ever been like literally right on the minute, like ever. I'm getting moaned at. Get the lights in, people. Chef. Christ, like most of these are chef actually. Looking at this, it's like, look, he always has to put this when Tetlee's on.
What?
And then we've got
Alpine.
Right, okay. Let's take that off and go back to my banners. Right, now what topic do we start with first? I know, let's do this one. Alan Sugar approaches Tetris script writer. Have any of you guys seen Tetris? The film?
No.
I've heard good things, but I haven't seen it. But I have heard good things about it.
It's good. It is a good film. I think it's available on Apple TV. Maybe. I think it's on
it's
Apple
definitely
TV.
a more obscure sort of streaming platform, isn't it?
It's definitely on IPTV. That's where I've seen it. Like,
yeah, that's where I watched it. Yeah, like
it's available on the internet.
Yeah, like shares in IPTV.
Other streaming services are available. You pay a lot more for them.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a good film if you get a chance. I forget his name, but you know the guy who played Eddie the Eagle, and he was also in what was it called? Kingsman. He was in that as well. What's his name?
Oh, he plays Elton John as well, doesn't he?
Elton John, yeah.
Yeah. I know you mean. I can't think of his name.
But it's him that plays the main part, and he's good. In fact, it's even funny in places. And like, I won't give too much away, but there's a part where there's like a chase, and they're playing the Tetris theme, but they sort of like modernized it, so it's like chase sort of music, but it's Tetris.
Yeah,
it's hard to explain.
Tetris crossed with Benny Hill.
Kind of, yeah, kind of. That's what it puts that idea in your head when you watch it. Yeah.
I assume it's not a strict documentary. Then it's more of a dramatization, is it?
It's a dramatization. Yeah, but it's really good. I mean, because when I watched it, it just come out of nowhere. I heard nothing about it. I saw it, watched it, and I thought that was really good. You know, and it was really surprising how good it was. So if you get a chance, you should watch it. But
yeah, it's on my list. It's on the watch list, but I still need to watch John Wick 4.
I've only just watched that Micromen, to be honest. I watched that a couple weeks ago.
That's a great film. That
was a cracker. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Jet Set Bloody Willy. That's all I think of every time someone says Micromen, that bit. But anyway, going back to what we were saying. So Tetris has had a lot of good reviews, and like it says here, apparently Alan Sugar approached the scriptwriter about doing a film about him. So we could end up getting a similar type of film, maybe about Amstrad, by the sounds of it.
That might be all right, actually.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Yeah, so
I don't even really know too much of the story of Amstrad, so that'd be pretty good for me.
I know he started off as a market stall trader, didn't he? And like a bit of a runner and what have you, and he literally started from the bottom. Literally from the bottom.
That's what Amstrad, where the name Amstrad come from, wasn't it? Because he was called
Alan Michael Sugar.
Alan Michael Sugar Trading. Yeah.
It's So I take it he didn't actually sort of invent anything as such. Is he just sort of the financial clout behind it all, or
He was like more of like an importer. Like from like Taiwan and like real cheap goods, and just like put quite a margin on and made his money like that. It was definitely not about quality for Alan Sugar back in the day. It was definitely quality.
Size just said here, the gaming historian did a good Tetris documentary. I'll have to have a look for that.
First game played in outer space.
What was that, Paul? Sorry,
it was the first game played in outer space on a Game Boy by a Russian cosmonaut.
See, it really should have been
had to be a Russian,
shouldn't it?
yeah, it should, yeah.
Yeah, but then like,
either that or asteroids.
Yeah, at the same time, like with what Paul just said, you know, it was a Russian guy, so it's going to be Tetris, isn't it?
Yeah,
it was because it was on a Game Boy, and obviously that's really light, and when you're going up to space, like every gram matters. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, you wouldn't be allowed to take a Spectrum Plus 2 up there, would you?
You definitely wouldn't be allowed to take an Amstrad up there. It's like about these big old things.
It's a nice segue into one of my pickups. There we go. That was one of my pickups from the London game.
Yeah, I saw that on your video. Yeah,
good video, Martin. Enjoyed it.
Is that a disc? Is it?
Yes, it is. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. But yeah, it is on.
Oh no, you can always repair it.
Maybe. Caked in dirt is the problem.
Yeah, one thing I will say about that Tetris film is I mean, obviously some of it's dramatized, but there's got to be some truth in there as well. And if it's as bad as it comes across when they're in Russia, it's like, Jesus Christ, no wonder like communism failed the way it did. Like, you'll see what I'm on about when you watch it. It's real bad. Like, if it is even close to how the film portrays it, it's basically communism was just a way of certain people getting rich and other people staying where they are, if you like, you know.
Have you watched from Russia with Love? Oh, sorry. Sorry, go on, Scott.
Having a joke. I was just saying, isn't that capitalism, though? The rich get richer, the poor get poorer.
Well, yeah, this is true. It kind of works the same way, don't it? It's got to be honest here, yeah.
Apart from like capitalism, if you invent it, it's normally you that gets rich from it. Whereas in Russia, you're knackered. I've watched a lot of documentaries, especially about military stuff, and they got nailed. Even the guy who invented the AK-47, he didn't make his money from that.
Well, a big part of the story of the Tetris film is you've hit the nail on the head there, Paul. So,
he didn't make a penny, probably.
Well, not to start with, but you'll see anyway. I'm not saying any more because I don't want to ruin it, but yeah, I mean, when you know how communism works, it's obvious, isn't it? Really, I suppose. But
had you ever watched the From Russia with Love documentary before or not on Tetris?
No. I don't know.
Quite an old one. That was really good. Must have been like in the late 90s. I'd have thought that one.
I've heard
probably
of it.
See it on YouTube.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's worth watching.
Who actually plays Tetris here? I don't play it like.
I don't like it
really.
I've been playing it the last few days because I've been putting furniture together and moving everything around.
I don't know if that counts.
So I've been playing it in real life.
Virtual Tetris.
Yeah. Yeah, I got really good at it. I can tell you now, I'd rather play it on a Game Boy. It's a lot easier, a lot more relaxing too. So,
I bet.
So, what's this rock and roller? How is everyone? We're all good. How are you, mate? I haven't spoken
rock and roller
for a while, actually. Got Marathon Gaming as well. Hello. I watched Alex's video at the gaming market earlier on. I see that he picked up some C64 goodies.
He did.
Yeah.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. That's game on here soon.
I may have influenced those purchases. I may have pushed him in the direction of some of those.
You're not leading him astray with the hit squad, are you, Martin?
I don't need another shark in the tank, mate. No.
I thought you'd finished by now.
No, one away.
Oh, one. Wow.
Not played Tetris for years, but always enjoyed it. Yeah. I'm up to final game. Oh, this must be to do with Zelda because Rock and Roll was asking about Zelda.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I mean, like I say, it's hard really to talk too much about this because obviously no one else has seen it. But from my point of view, the Tetris film was good. So anywhere near as good as that, it should be pretty interesting. So I wouldn't mind watching it. That's for sure.
Well, he's an interesting character, Alan Sugar, isn't he?
Yes.
So he would definitely, it would definitely make a good film.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you guys seen the Commodore story? Have you seen that one on Amazon Prime? That's really good.
No.
No, I don't think I have.
Didn't know about it.
Yeah, there's a documentary. It's about 2.5 hours long. It's really, I really
wow.
enjoy it. It's about the whole history of the Commodore. Jack Tramiel being very similar to Alan Sugar and how he sort of like came up from nothing and made loads of money and then just fell into computing basically. And
Kim Justice does a fantastic video on it, and also the 8-bit guy. You know, he does like I think it's about a 5-parter on Commodore.
I think he's in the documentary as well. The 8-bit guy is in the Commodore story documentary.
Yeah, his is absolutely amazing. It really is. Definitely, even if you're not into Commodore, it's interesting when it comes to like the Amiga years and like how Tramiel actually went to Atari, and then they were meant to get the Amiga, and then his sons actually managed to do him out of the Amiga, and they got it for Commodore. And it's nuts, really. It's a really cool story that not many people know about.
Yeah, it's definitely worthwhile watching. Yeah,
I'll have to have a look at that.
I'm a sucker for like a computing documentary. I love because I work from home all the time and I've got multiple screens. So I'll have work on this screen, like I try and find some really long form documentaries to watch on the other screen, sort of stuff. So I've seen most of them.
Right, so I've got Marathon Gaming. I've not watched Tetris. Should I watch it? Yes, you should. It's good. It is good. I really enjoyed it. It's quite funny in places too. So it's got a full range of emotions in that. And then we had Lee asking if you could ask Paul a question. Is Retrobait sub to my channel? As there is a horrible rumor that he is not.
Well, the rumor's true. Who is this chef? Who is Retro Chef?
We only started channels that have content, didn't we?
What does he do? What does he do? Does he do any like comparison videos or something? Like what's his channel?
Oh, no idea. I unsubscribed to him years ago. James, James. What's we got? We'll do chef. Right, okay. I think we're all caught up. Yes, we are. Right, okay. Let's move into our next topic, shall we? First of all, though, let's get rid of that first. It's amazing how rusty you get when you haven't. I've literally only not streamed for about a month, and I've already got a bit rusty on this.
Mate, I'm dreading doing my next one. I haven't done one like this year.
I think you sort of slip into a groove, don't you? And then when you don't do it for a while, you then have to start thinking about what you're doing. You know, normally I just click things and it's there.
I must admit, I don't miss. Well, I do miss them, but I don't miss all the like farting about, like to sort it all out and everything. I don't miss all that. Like the actual bit itself was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't mind being on this side.
Here's one for you guys. I don't know if you've heard of this, but F256K.
No.
Right. I'm just gonna add another bit to the streamer so we can have a look at it.
Googling.
So basically Jan Beta did a video on this, and it's a modern day micro. As you can see it, basically the way he explained it is that the keyboard is pretty much the same as a Commodore 64 keyboard.
It looks like an Amiga 600.
Almost the size of that, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look here, it will actually accept a 1541 disk drive as well. See it in the picture here?
I think Chef's got one of those, isn't he?
Yeah. I have.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Does he got one of them? Has he?
Yeah. So it will also take. I don't know if you can see it in these pictures. Yeah, these pictures.
So who's this aimed at? Like, who's going to buy this?
I don't know. If I'm honest,
Not me.
So, what is it? Like a one for all? Is it?
Well, basically, it runs on. Hang on, let me just look at.
Does it run like original software from like maybe like different micros or something?
Hang on, let's read through the specs. So, I know that he goes into more detail on his video, Jan Beta's video. I'll put the link in the description in a minute. But I'm pretty certain he said it will run. It says it comes with an installed flashed microkernel, super basic on boot. I'm sure he said it would run Commodore 64, and that there are plans for other things to run on it also.
Oh, stereo SID.
Yeah, it's got 2 SIDs in it.
Unpopulated socket, so you got to buy your own chips.
Yeah.
You see, the one he had was a prototype, so his one already had him in.
£40 a pop now.
Well, you wait till I tell you what the price is. we'll get to that in a minute.
You know, I've got a box of SID chips. I think I've got about 14, and like, it's just I don't like. It was from all the Commodore 64s that I used to harvest when I used to repair them and stuff like that. And yeah, I keep looking on eBay how much they are, and I'm like, I really should put these on eBay. Like, I'll be able to make some decent money. Like, there's like maybe 800 quid's worth of chips.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's mad.
So it says here, media IEC port, Commodore drive, full size SD card. It will take Atari style joysticks. Mini DIN 9.
Like your normal 9-pin.
Yeah, you got mini DIN 9 NES SNES connector. Yeah. So, like I say, if you want more in detail, check out Jan Beta, because you can't really see in this picture, but right above the keyboard, you can see there's like a white patch, and that's a cartridge slot.
I think we should do the Price is Right. I think we should try and guess what the price of this thing is.
Oh, there you go. Look, you can see it there. See the cartridge in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So go on in. Let's have a guess then.
Personally, I think that looks rather naff.
It does look crap.
I'm glad it's not just me.
It doesn't look like the colours are an interesting combination, aren't they? I mean,
100 quid. Yeah, what?
No,
they've basically chosen the worst colours you can possibly combine.
More than 100 quid, I'm telling
Look
you.
at the space bar. Look at the state of the space bar.
Well, the case is a 3D printed case. I think.
Yeah, even the cursor keys look all.
It looks 3D printed.
Even the cursor keys look all skew with.
Yeah, it's a prototype. Isn't it? It looks very prototypey.
There's the board. So yeah, I mean, like I say, Jan Beta's one was already populated because it was a prototype. Like I say, I've got the link somewhere. I'll put that up in a minute. But coming in, let's take guesses while I find the link to put.
What was Tetlee saying? How much does Tetlee say it was? 100 quid.
100 quid. Rip off.
Not even close. Not even close.
I'm gonna say.
Who's destroying their house?
Sorry, that's me. It's getting roasted in here.
Jesus.
Right. I'm going to say 400 quid. Or 3995 or something like that.
400 quid. What's everyone else saying then?
I'm saying 350.
Oh, that's what I'll say 300 then.
Right, okay. Closest one is Paul, 595. Yeah, dollars though. That is dollars. But yeah,
so it's still like what 540 quid or something, isn't it? Yeah, 520 quid.
Craziness.
Wow. And it's 3D printed.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, well, the prototype is. So yeah.
Well, that'll sell well then.
I don't even know. Even if it was 99 quid, I'd still be like, do I need it? Like, really? Do I need it? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I just
might watch the video. I
thought I'd mention it because it's just, you know, it's 8-bit related. It's a micro, so I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not something that interests me, but you know, some people might see the appeal, I suppose.
There's the other one I haven't seen. I've seen he's done an update today on it. You know, the 8-bit guy. He's building a machine called the Commander X16 or something. I think it's called.
Yeah.
So I need to find out. I think that is supposed to be like a modern day Commodore 64. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what's going on with that one. I don't know too much about it.
Yeah, I watched the episodes. It's pretty decent.
It's interesting. There's a lot of stuff coming about just of late, isn't there? There seems to be. Right, someone's destroying their house again.
Do I keep disappearing? Do I keep freezing?
Sit still for like 5 minutes.
I'm trying to get this laptop charging up. I'm trying to get this MacBook charging. I can't figure out how to use it.
Press mute when you do something.
Sorry, I don't know where the mute button is. Oh, I see. Yeah. I am a fidget ass. Sorry.
Oh Jesus! So like we say, $595. I mean, you could get an Amiga 500 for that with change.
Oh
so,
dear!
Yeah, you could buy an Amiga 1200 for that.
Yeah, when you put it into that perspective, it's like wow.
You could probably get a 1200 and a CD 32. Yeah, maybe if you got some good deals. But yeah, that's a lot. Of money.
I've got to go down the chat because there's a lot of comments here, like obviously regarding that. Where is it? My eyes are bad. Ignore me. I see Paul's Back to Future. Oh, that's along something else. Right. Okay. This is all to do with Chef Stream, I believe. Hey, look, he's on here poaching people. Cheeky fucker, isn't it?
I've got so much stuff to show for pickups as well. I might actually make a pickups video. I haven't made one for a year, though, for probably over a year. I think I've got enough to actually
get it done, Paul.
Can you explain this to us dumb people in Essex, please, Lee? Too much tech talk. I'm still on the fax machine and pager, mate. Speak for yourself, you filthy animal. Where is it? Microchips by the chef. There was one, I saw it somewhere. Somebody said that it looks crap. Where is it? Purples look early 90s Fresh Prince shell jacket style.
Yeah.
Yes. Why is Chef going on about Parmesan cheese? What's he doing?
He's still going to work tomorrow.
Tetlee's in the toilet, apparently.
So he's an actual chef.
Right, so someone did actually guess here £777 just because Paul can't.
There's just zero there. What's he talking about? I'm saying zero. I'm saying zero.
That is funny. Very quick, that one.
But Martin, I can't believe you forgot on the last quiz, number 7.
I did.
I know. I couldn't believe that. It was almost like the bad luck had followed him. Oh, it is. Pixel Plug was the one who said it. Looks fucking shit. I mince your words, mate.
I take it Pixel Plug didn't like it then.
No. Well, then he put this. So, mind you, there's your one, Scott. Looks terrible.
Well, yeah, it does.
Use a little bit more diplomat.
That's the first for everything.
Yeah.
Is Tetlee drunk?
Yeah.
Drunk on tea.
Normally, Tetlee is drunk, isn't it?
Look, normally it's me trying to destroy Lee's streams. It all adds to the fun, doesn't it? It'd be boring if everything went according to plan. I mean, I only just made it to my own stream, didn't I, lads?
Well, yeah,
that's true. Though.
Oh.
To be fair, I've missed my own premiere once. I forgot.
Oh, yeah, you did, didn't you?
You did, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. How did you do that?
Quality YouTuber right here.
Oh,
maybe not.
Right, okay. Let's move on to our next topic. Right, so this is another one that I quickly saw a flash of. So we're going to kind of look at this together, this one. But this is another one I've going to have to share a window on. So
welcome to VoiceOver. VoiceOver's.
What was Is that Tetlee again?
It is him again, isn't it? I can tell by his face.
It's rock and roller, must be.
What are you drinking? What is that?
Have you got vodka in your orange squad?
Seems like.
He's got something in it. Are you sure he ain't got acid in it?
Who's that? Who's got the message?
What I'm going to do is...
It's my wife's MacBook I've got on the side here.
I'm going to stop talking and we'll allow Tetlee to bring the entertainment because it's all quite funny. We'll just sit here and laugh at him. We'll do that for 2 hours. Oh, Jesus.
Right, how do you want, man?
Okay. Where was I anyway? Yeah, so 264 gets Chat GPT. So yeah, I saw this flash up and I thought we'd have a look at this because I don't know about you guys, but I'm wondering how the hell does that work on a Commodore 64? So
online BBS.
Yeah, but I mean, when I glimpsed at it, and I'm sure there's bits that sounded to me like you pretty much wouldn't actually be using much of a C64 in the end of it. So would it be worth it?
Well, it's like anything really. I mean, if you use it on your phone or whatever, it's not on your phone. It's like you're talking via a server to a central computer to the actual thing. So the Commodore 64 is just doing the same. It's just that you're typing it in on a different thing than your phone. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it'll just get the answer back, and it'll just put it up in text.
I don't even know what ChatGPT is. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, I don't.
AI, isn't it?
Talking about.
Yeah, it's AI. It's AI.
Yeah.
You know the photos that I've been doing that I put in the group. Like some of you've seen, like photos.
Oh yeah.
Where I've like changed stuff about and that, and that's using the AI app, and you can just like tell it what you want it like to do to a picture, and it'll listen to you, and it'll do like a load of different pictures, and you choose which one you like.
Well, I'm not even joking, right? But the version, like the main version of ChatGPT that people were using, I watch a guy called Star Wars Theory. I watch a guy called Star Wars Theory, and he basically put into the ChatGPT the sequel trilogy, and the ChatGPT actually wrote a better version than the one that Disney put out. Like Sissay did it when an AI has actually wrote a better story than a person.
I have to get them to finish off Game of Thrones.
Yeah. So yeah, it says here, powered by GPT 3.5 or 4, become one of the most popular large language models. Yeah, due to its ability to hold passable conversations and generate large tracts of text. Now that very tool is available on the Commodore 64 via the internet. What was you going to say, Tetlee?
So how is this working? What have you effectively got an app on the C64 then to access this thing?
Well, I'll say I have
ChatGPT will have what's called an API, right? And an API is sitting there waiting for a series of commands to be sent to it, and then it will do its thing. So all they're doing is simulating those commands from a C64. Obviously, they're having to connect the C64 to the internet, which will be done through various. I'm assuming still a dial-up modem. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
when you get further down, it tells you. Yeah.
So as long as you send ChatGPT the commands it's expecting over the API, then it will give you a response. So it is clever, but it's not like crazy. It's like it's.
So basically, it says here basically what Martin's just said about to connect to modern online APIs. Instead, the C64 can access ChatGPT through the Retro Campus BBS,
which is it's like a way of getting online. It's like an online server sort of thing.
Yeah,
like a bulletin board thing, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Because it's funny in the comments below, someone actually put, "I didn't even know that bulletin boards still existed." Like that's what someone put in the comments under this article. So, due to security reasons, ChatGPT era the BBS is only available to board's Patreon members. So that's a shame. So, but yeah, displayed in glorious pet ski on the Commodore 64, handled via a computer running as a go-between for the BBS clients and OpenAI's ChatGPT service. Yeah, spitting out C64 compatible basic. And somebody has done a video here. So, yeah, I'll have to watch that actually because I didn't get a chance to watch that earlier. But like I said, I did find the comments quite amusing. Where is it? Someone has put it here somewhere that they didn't know that BBS actually still existed. Yeah, look, there it is. A bigger story is that BBS still exists. So yeah. But yeah, I thought it's worth mentioning because there's been a lot of Chat GPT talk lately. And the fact that someone's actually doing it with a Commodore 64, I thought it was worth noting. So
yeah, I mean, you can even get ChatGPT to write your basic code. So if you then want to copy and paste that into your Commodore 64, you'll be able to run a program. So it will because that's essentially what ChatGPT is, or Bard, which is the Google version of it, is just imagine predictive text on crack, right? It is you use AI every day. When you're typing messages, sometimes you'll see messages get finished off for you. Like if I was to say, hey, Lee, what are you up to? And then all of a sudden my text message starts saying today or this weekend or whatever. It starts to, that predictiveness that is AI at a very low level. And this is just the next thing. So when you ask ChatGTP to write me a history report on Winston Churchill as if I was 11 years old for my homework, it needs to be 1,000 words long. All it starts doing is putting in those words, and then it starts to predict what words come next until it starts to build out a report. So it's really clever what it can do, but it's only using the language model it's learned from all of those reports that are available on the internet about Winston Churchill. So it's looking at all of those wiki pages, forum posts, news websites. It's pulling all of that information in and then building you that document based on
how long will that take?
With AI, not long.
Just to say, how long would that take?
Seconds.
Oh,
wow, really?
It's basically an expensive.
I could do that for my homework back in the day.
It's basically an expensive search engine, isn't it? Really, when you look at it.
Well, I mean, the computing power behind it is mammoth. But then,
so how come it's free? How come we can use it if it's so expensive?
Well, it's technically not free because obviously there's the advertising revenue behind it and lots of other things that are you might consume it for free, but there are ways of making money from something that is free. Yeah.
Like I say, I mean, I watched the guy Star Wars Theory, and like I said, it spat out a better outline for the Star Wars sequel trilogy than what was done.
That's not the same guy who does the Aliens one, is it?
No, it's different.
That's brilliant. I love that channel.
Yeah. That's the one I said to you about, I think.
Yeah. The Alien Theory one, yeah.
He did something because he hadn't done anything for a long time, and I think he put something up a few weeks back.
Yeah, he was on about the new film and that it's coming out a bit earlier. Things has come together really well. I think it was getting is it Hululu or something release? Hulu or something.
No, whatever.
But Hulu's owned by Disney, and Disney own the Alien franchise.
So it's actually going to get a cinematic release now, they reckon, rather than.
It needs to, because at the moment Disney's put out so many failures lately. They need the money.
Well, it's meant to be really good, apparently. So we'll see.
I mean, I know we're not talking about films, but have you heard about Indiana Jones? I mean, that's tanking hard, mate. That is. They've killed that franchise.
Yeah, but you say that, Lee, but that's got some good reviews. I know some people that I trust their judgment, and they're saying it's actually quite a good film. It's just a big hate campaign all over online and social media. I've heard the film's actually quite good.
I can't comment. I haven't seen it, so
no, I haven't seen it yet.
Well, it's got to make over 750 million to actually make a profit.
Yeah, I know it's got to make ridiculous.
And it didn't even make 100 on its opening weekend. So,
but who's aimed at? If us
men
middle-aged men are not going to go and see it, who else is going to go and see Indiana Jones? Because it's kind of irrelevant to youngsters today, isn't it?
Well, that's kind of the problem. I mean, me and Martin did a stream not so long back talking about this, and the problem is that they've aimed it like they basically done it in a way that it's going to annoy the original fans. So it's more appealing to the younger lot, but the younger lot don't even know who Indiana Jones is.
Yeah, it's irrelevant. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it basically completely screws the film up. It's like, well, who's it for then? Like, so yeah. But anyway, we're not talking about Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Unless it's the 8-bit version of the video.
What's the best 8-bit version of Indiana Jones on a video game, man? I like the original Atari arcade.
The best for me, well, I can't even comment for 8-bit, but on the Amiga,
Fate of Atlantis
is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, the point-and-click adventure games are good. Yeah,
right. Hold that thought, because Paul knows what's coming.
Is my question good?
How about that for segues, guys? I didn't even do that. You did that. That was perfect. What a segue. See, we don't dick around here.
Well, I know mine. So I know mine.
So yeah, what's the best point and click on the Amiga? I think since this is yours topic, Paul, I think it's only right that you go first, mate.
He just said it, didn't he?
Well, there's just
others off it. I reckon.
The thing is, like, I was asking you guys because mine, it does change. There's like a certain batch of like maybe 5 that just at different times I like them the best. And I'm not going to name them because I want to know what your answers are first, and to see. I'm pretty much sure that they're all going to be in the top 5 that I love to play. Yeah, I just wondered what your guys what yours are going to be, and then I'll tell you which one's for me.
I'm saying mine before anyone else says it. Mine is Beneath a Still Sky. End of. Done. I love that game because I used to play it with my uncle all the time. It's my favourite point and click.
Here's mine.
Hang on.
Have you played the... Oh yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, lovely.
Remember does the voice on the CD32 version.
Yeah, got that.
That's right. Yeah, Christopher Barry. Yeah.
I think for me, because obviously the obvious one is Monkey Island, right? And the Monkey Island series is the obvious one to pick.
Yeah,
but at the time, and even now, I'm much more of a fantasy guy. Like I love like the Lord of the Rings and elves and orcs and wizards and all this sort of stuff. So as a kid, when this came out, especially because the character is sucked out of like the real world and like into this sort of Simon the Sorcerer's world, it just really clicked with me. That's not a great story. So this one I played this several times, and even the second one as well, Simon the Sorcerer 2. So it's more my game than say the Monkey Islands and others are great, but Beneath a Still Sky is fantastic as well.
But I've just got the follow up to. I just got the follow up to Beneath a Still Sky. I haven't played it yet though.
I found it difficult, not difficult, just really like time taking for like anything to happen at the beginning. I thought it was really, really slow. I gave up after about an hour because I just got a bit bored, to be quite honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I'm definitely going to go back to it because I think that was the last game I played on the PS4, and because I've just been playing so many other games, I've just not put it anywhere near the machine. But I will, because like you, mate, that's definitely one of the 5 Beneath the Still Sky. So yeah.
So the thing is, for me, in the follow up, is it like the original where every time you click on something, it says, "Look what I found." Because that's all it says in the first one. Like every time you click on it, it's like, "Look what I found."
It's like a first world perspective, sort of 3D, like
so they've really changed it.
Yeah, it's very, very different.
Right, this is a different type of point and click that Chef's put out.
That's how I learned how to play poker as a kid.
Oh, look, and there you go.
Yeah,
got it.
And I know you want to say that. Oh,
no screen.
Didn't put any screenshot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I only knew where that was because I was watching. I watched a guy called Simon Whistler, and he was on about computer games that can't believe existed, and that was one of them. Just because it was the graphics were so bad, not because it was someone stripping for poker.
Right, Scott, what's yours?
I would probably say, one of my favourite point and clicks of all time would be Day of the Tentacle, but I don't think that was on the Amiga, was it? That was a PC.
It doesn't have to be on the. Well, does it have to be on the Amiga? I guess not.
Day of the Tentacle was really good. Maniac Mansion, that was on the Amiga. That's a great game.
Yeah.
But replayability-wise, with a point and click, it's got to be Monkey Island. I've played through them games so many times, whereas the other point and click games, even though I really like them, I wouldn't tend to go back to them. Whereas Monkey Island, I have done. So I'm going to go Monkey Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Tetlee.
This can be a tricky one because I've never really been a point and click player. And I think probably the only one I've played is the same as Scott, the Monkey Island game. And I've got a feeling, was there a Discworld game on point and click on the Amiga? Or am I getting completely confused? That was the other one I played. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, so that would be... Yeah, probably those two are the only ones that I've played.
Yeah. It's the only series of games that like my dad still plays at 75 years old. He still plays
really.
That's superb.
Yeah, he still plays like. Do you remember
What's
games
his
like?
favorite? Do you know what his favorite is?
Probably Seventh Guest or 11th Hour, I say, are his favorite because they are point and click with puzzles as well. So there's a lot of puzzles in those games. But yeah, he but yeah, also loved Simon the Sorcerer and Monkey Island. And like I say, I still buy him because they still are making point and click adventure games, especially on Steam. If you on PC on Steam, there's still new ones coming out every year. It's a bit of a dead genre. So whenever a new one comes out, I always buy it for him, and he still plays through them, which is fantastic. Really, I love the fact that he still plays video games.
Good story, that man.
Yeah. So Pixel Plugs put Cosmic Spacehead. Didn't they release that on something? Re-release it on something recently? Didn't they come out on Evercade or something? Cosmic Spacehead. I'm sure it did.
Would games like Myst be classed as point and click, or is that something else entirely?
I suppose.
I'd call that a point and click. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's another one I used to play.
You've got to navigate the island by pointing and clicking.
Yeah.
You've got puzzles in there. You've got story in there. So to me, I would still say they're point and click adventures. Yeah.
Got a lot of people saying Broken Sword.
Yeah, I love that on the PlayStation.
Oh, I think I played that. Yeah, I was going to say I think I played that on the PlayStation. Yeah.
Yeah. Sequel was decent as well.
There's quite a few of them now. I think there's at least 5. There's at least 5 Broken Sword games. There might be more.
Is there not one where it gets fixed?
None of it's about the sword either, is it?
I mean, surely by the time you get to the 5th one, you should have at least made one sword out of them, right?
They could have just called it sword, couldn't they?
Yeah. Doesn't quite have the same ring to it, though, does it?
No.
Sword.
Fixed sword.
Yeah. I have a sword.
So yeah, you pretty much mentioned 4 of the 5, which would have been Monkey Island 1, Monkey Island 2, Beneath the Steel Sky, Simon the Sorcerer. But the last one was one that I used to have back in the day, and I played this an absolute ton. It's such a like the graphics are just stunning. The backgrounds on this game. And number 5 would definitely be this one called Universe.
Let me put you on Solo's layout. Universe. Oh, okay. Was this only on the CD32, Paul? Or
no, it wasn't. But I couldn't find an Amiga version for love nor money. Right. So, do you know what? I'm going to buy it on the CD32 and play it on that.
I thought you was going to say Dreamweb. That's what I thought you was going to say.
Dreamweb's close, but it's just such a frustrating game. But I absolutely adore that game as well. Yeah. Even the book that it comes with an actual story, which is just, it's brilliant. It's so well done.
I was just thinking, didn't Lucasfilm have some point and clicks out on the?
Yeah, they've done the Indiana Jones ones.
Yeah, but there was others as well, wasn't there? I'm sure there was.
I'm a bit jealous of that one, Paul. That's nice. I may be on eBay by the end of this episode. Of,
What else is new? Yeah. What else is new?
But yeah, I did manage to finally get an Amiga version of Universe a few months ago, and like some of the things that it comes with, these postcards, like these are the actual graphics from the game.
Hang on, let me put you on solo layout.
Full screen.
Have a look at them. Oh, that's
cool. Wow.
I like that.
That is cool.
Don't get art like that anymore, do you?
It's like, honestly, some of the stuff that you get is just like,
yeah, that's
like
good.
Some of the scenes and that is just amazing.
Some of them I'm
getting the other way around.
Some of them I'm getting Battlestar Galactica vibes from,
It's such a good game, and not many people know about it. And I think they should definitely give it a go. The control system can be a little bit of a pain in the arse, but that would be in my top 5. So at some point, that is my favorite point and click. But we've all mentioned the other ones. I kind of just go like around and like just have a go. I never play them long enough to complete them, and then I'm like, oh, I'm going to try a different one.
Yeah.
So, another one I used to like was the Police Quest games. Do you remember them? They were quite good.
Oh yes, they were great games. They were.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find the.
I don't know if I ever played them. I certainly remember them though.
Yeah,
I definitely played 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's from Dreamweb. That's the book that you get.
Oh,
Diary of a Madman.
Oh man, I've just found one for 50 quid on eBay.
Look at how it's written though.
Money live.
It's like a proper book.
It is. I'm looking at it on eBay right now.
What Paul needs to do is shove the stuff he's showing on eBay straight away so that Martin buys it while he's showing it off.
Look,
if it's fate, right, but guys, I'm going to chuck in a cheeky offer on this eBay, and we'll see if I get it by the end of the show.
Hold on, I'll let you know. I'll let you know now if you want, mate. When it comes good.
So, like, Paul's come straight in. Old style gaming. Best point and click on the Amiga is Indiana Jones.
Yeah, Fate of Atlantis is real.
Underneath, Monkey Island. One that I was about to say, Maniac mentioned. And Zach McCracken, that was the other one I was trying to remember. I knew there was other Lucasfilm games. Just couldn't remember them. Let's just suit Larry. Yeah, I was waiting for that one from you, Chef. Yeah. Cruise for a Corpse.
Cruise for a Corpse.
While Paul's there, I think wasn't that one in his hidden gems, his last hidden gems video. I think it was either number 1 or number 2. That looked like a point and click. It looked really good as well.
It was like a military type style one, wasn't there? Well, the shots that we saw was a military basey with that or something. Yeah,
it looked really good. I messaged him. I was like, "Mate, I need that game. That looks really good." He's like, "Yeah, it's definitely up your street."
One that I never played but always comes up is Lure of the Temptress. I never played that, but the box art and the game I see pop up all the time. But I never played it.
That's the name of the game there. He's just put it in the corner here.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. I did have to translate it, and it literally is fetish.
Matter fetish.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was translated back to fetish.
Which is funny because that one's about fetish, and then Pixel Plugs, the one before that, was about Police Quest. Like, that almost sounds like a sentence, that, doesn't it? Police Quest or a fetish. And then someone's going on about I'm guessing that's meant to say necromancer.
Neuromancer.
You sell body parts, right? This now sounds like a really dodgy conversation, don't it? Police Quest, a police fetish, and then you sell body parts. Stick that into Chat GPT.
That's it.
You come up with a really good point and click adventure with all them.
Martin can use his C64 Chat GPT.
The Maya fetish. Sorry, the Maya fetish or something. Yeah.
But I do think the Amiga, a big part of it was point and click adventures. It was kind of defined because you could do point and click adventures on the 8-bits, but once you could use a mouse properly and they could up the graphics a bit. I think that's when they really took off on the Amiga. I think I don't know if the Atari ST probably had a bunch of them as well. But
it did as well. Yeah, it's a massive genre back then, wasn't it? It's kind of died off a bit now, but it was massive.
See, I probably missed out there. I suppose point and click lives on in mobile phones, though, doesn't it? To an extent, aren't a lot of those sort of games point and click types, or is that something different?
The new Monkey Island they brought out was like point and click, I think, still, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that looked pretty good as well. I was a bit at first. I was like, I don't think it's going to be up my street. Like when I saw the style of it, but then when I watched on a Retro Tips video, I was like, do you know what? That actually looks really good. I'll definitely enjoy it.
If you've never played one, Tetlee, I would definitely recommend like the ones we've been talking about. They're such a relaxing game. Yeah. Some of them can be really frustrating, right? They use this with this on this, and you're trying every item in your bag until you find a magic combo that works. But they definitely are. They are forgotten the game, I think, for sure. There are a few still floating around.
What's the most accessible one then? That's a good one, which is also sort of a good newbie.
I don't know. That's a great question, though. What is a great entry point to point and click adventures?
I would say Monkey Island.
Yeah,
agreed. That's the first one that most people played, I think.
Yeah.
Some point and click games can be very cryptic in what you've got to do, and that can be.
But if Still Sky is, really hard to find things.
Yeah, the only reason I would say Simon the Sorcerer as a jumping point is because you can now get it obviously with voice. And for some people, reading all of the text is a bit much. But if you can get it with voice playback, you can just sit back and listen to it. So that's quite nice.
That would sound better.
Yeah.
Martin, is there a good point and click? Is
there a good point and click games workshop game? I don't think there is. I don't think it's a genre they've ever got into. I don't think
they're missing a trick with that. You would have thought they would have done that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
surely that would have been the best thing they could have done. Like,
certainly not one that jumps to mind anyway.
I mean, the other one, obviously, strategy games, which is what theirs are. Have you seen that one recently that's out for the Switch, Martin, where you're an orc? It's like a side scroller.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, that one looked quite interesting. It's got almost like a mobile game sort of artwork style to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, they do farm out the IP to quite a lot of studios, so there are quite a lot of Games Workshop games, and they do vary quite significantly in their quality because there's crappy, mobile games through to big Warhammer, the Warhammer World games and stuff like that. So there is a big sort of quality. You get hit and misses a lot with that.
See, look,
but I can't think of a single point and click adventure for Games Workshop specifically. Although, if you go back in history towards more like the fighting fantasy stuff, which is Workshop, there are some fighting fantasy click adventures, I believe, from the books. Do you remember the fighting fantasy books where you turn to page 75?
I used to love them.
So I think there's a good chance that they did do them, but without the Workshop bit attached to it. Games Workshop.
Well, actually, I can prove that they did them because
you've got them. Martin never fails to disappoint on these things. But and here's one I made earlier.
So I've got it's not a point. It's a text adventure, but I've got the Forest of Doom book. This is the classic.
Oh, I remember you showing this in a video. Yeah.
So this is the book where you'd read through and go on your adventure and fill out your fighting sheet on the back. But actually, it came with
it, right?
The Commodore 64 version of the book.
Yeah.
So this is all text based. So it's not point and click. It's a what do they used to call them? A MUD, was it? Where it's all typing based. But yeah, it is an adventure game on disc for Forest of Doom. Yeah.
So that is a Games Workshop game then, technically, yeah?
Well, yeah, because Fighting Fantasy that was like one of the wings of Workshop, essentially.
Yeah.
So you've got like Ian Livingstone and Steve Jackson, who were the creators of it all. So, yeah.
Interesting. Bit of history there, mate.
Yeah.
And also, a good question for you, because that's right down your alley as well. So, but yeah, I'm very surprised, really, when you think about it, there aren't more of them. Because
was that multi-format then? That one you've got there, Martin?
No,
or was it just C64?
No, this is C64. Yeah, yeah. Well, they only made it for the best, mate. They didn't bother with the others, so.
They thought it'd work on the C64 because it didn't need graphics.
Oh, yeah. They go on. They went with the number one selling 8-bit.
So don't start with your brown jokes. God. I was waiting for that.
Colour clash. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say is what OSG used to say about how when you go outside, not everything's brightly coloured. It's more realistic, isn't it? That's what he used to say.
Yeah.
Gritty's the word you're looking for.
Outside, it ain't all purple and bright yellow and all that.
I don't know. That is here and sunny stuff.
Depends what you're taking.
Oh, actually, no, we're in the wrong month now. You would have got away with that in the last month because it was Pride month, so then it was more colourful. So,
in that this month or next month?
No, it's now, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's just our street where we got our shop. They're well up for that. They always put all decorations and that up through it.
Yeah, they put all banners up, don't they? And it's all like rainbow coloured, don't it? So technically, Spectrum would be right at home there.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
OSD's made just to finish that topic off. Obviously, they did do board game conversion. So Hero Quest was obviously on the 8-bits and also the 16-bits. So, and it is a point and click. You are navigating the board through point and click and all that sort of stuff. But I would say it's probably more like a board game conversion.
Not point and click, but there's your Games Workshop.
Yeah.
What an amazing Spectrum game that is.
Oh, hang on.
Greatest game of all time.
We can't talk about Chaos without playing this.
Get some magic wood.
then they've got trees everywhere. They can
Magic wood. Come on, you can't say that and I can't not snigger. Come on.
Yeah, you can't.
Alex, we're all watching you, mate. We've all got magic wood. Come on.
I've got magic wood.
You know you're going to get Retro Chef in the comments now, don't you?
Oh, God. I'm getting a bit geeky, a bit nerdy, aren't I? But yeah.
Well, that's what this is about, though, isn't it? It's a nerdy stream.
I must admit, like I was able to visit the Alex's cave the other weekend, and it's like Martin was there as well, and it was just, and Scott, I think you must have been as well at some point. It's just fantastic. Like I spent ages in there. The Vectrex, like I was just like, oh, he's got some amazing games. All the it's what an arcade that is. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I want to go there sometime.
Oh, sure. You know, I would have loved to have gone. I really would have loved to have gone, but I just knew that if I had, I wouldn't.
Yeah, it's too soon, mate.
I just wouldn't have enjoyed it, you know. So, yeah, but yeah, it does look great. I mean, even like seeing you guys' photos and your bit of filming that, like when you was going around in the cave and you were showing all the little LCDs, because I've got one that I bought from Scott's shop, which was originally Alex's, which is funny. And I loved that because I remember playing one of them when I was a kid. A mate of mine had one.
Well, there is a video coming. I've put most of it together, but I've still got to do the voiceover and the.
I'll give you guys a sneak peek. Beans, you brought up the little LCDs. Look what I picked up.
Well, you said you were going to get one.
Barcode banner.
I must admit, when I was watching you play it, I didn't have a clue what you were doing. I was like, "What is this? Like, what's going on?"
Yeah. So I'll be doing something on that for sure.
The thing is, though, like, because the idea was that you was meant to be able to just scan anything and then things would happen. But anyone I ever knew that had them, they sort of played with them for like a week and then stopped playing with them. They said it didn't work when they scanned things and stuff.
It is hit and miss, but it's. I can remember playing it a lot, and my mum saving me the barcodes off of beans and cornflakes and whatever else it was. Frey Bentos pies, probably. I don't know. That's probably what we ate back then. I'm gonna have some fun battling the kids with it. I'm gonna learn how to use it. But yeah, just that little corner. I know we're not talking about that, but that little corner with all those LCD games, man, it was so cool. It's probably the coolest bit of that cave. I mean, there's loads of cool stuff in there, but that corner was something special, you know.
Well, when I saw that bit, I think it was on your video, Martin. I saw a caveman. I was like, yeah, that was another one.
Oh, I remember that one.
When I played the friend's one that I now own, that I got from Scott's shop, the other one that another friend of mine at school had at the time was Caveman. Because that's when you have to go along and nuke the dinosaur eggs and get them back.
That was a great game, that.
Yeah.
That used to be a highlight of school lunch breaks, that when people brought them different things in, wasn't
it?
Yeah, I mean, when I first played on these, it was when when you used to have days at school where you could take toys in.
Yeah,
and certain people. I mean, I took Star Wars in. A couple of other kids took He-Man in, and this was the first time we'd seen these LCDs. And there was a couple of lads whose parents had money, and they came in with them. And all of us basically put our stuff down on the sides and just played their games with them. You know, because you hadn't seen.
I know. I definitely had the Shark Attack one. I remember that one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
And the other one a friend of mine had was the one that looks like Tron. You know, where you got the rectifiers. They come down. You got to shoot them with the tank.
Yeah.
That's
like I've just forgot how to call it. And the thing is, they still are really good. Like some things you go back and revisit them, and they're not so great. But yeah, I remember that one.
But those 3D Tronics that you got there, though, they're worth quite a bit now. They're quite expensive.
They've shot up in value.
Yeah.
I used to have that. Can you remember the Turtles one? And it used to be the was it G-Lock or no? It was Sega, wasn't it? There was
Top Gun.
Yeah, the grey one, and the green one. I used to have the Turtles one.
used to
I
play
get
it.
loads of them in the retro realm, and they sell really fast. I've had Star Trek, Top Gun, Turtles.
Oh yeah, there was a Star Trek, wasn't there? How much does the Turtles one go for?
About 25 quid, something like that.
Why? That's not bad. Like,
Yeah.
Mm.
wouldn't mind one of them actually.
I've got one of the Tiger ones. I think that was is it Afterburner? I think it's Afterburner.
Yeah, a lot of the Sega
It's
stuff
Tiger,
is
wasn't it?
released by
Yeah.
Tiger and Grandstand. Yeah.
Yeah. I do like one of those things. I miss them. Like I mean, I had, the ones that I ended up getting were like kind of like the cheaper market jobby ones. You know, they call them pocket games. I had one where it's like a spaceman, and you have to sort of jump across asteroids as they're falling. But if you don't time it right, the asteroid hits you and kills you, sort of thing. Yeah, although at the time I remember like sitting there playing it for hours, and it was bloody hard. You used to die loads, but it's funny. You'll get to a point in your life where you put them down and you forget you ever had them, and then when you're older, you're like, whatever happened to that? I wish I had that. You know, sort of thing.
I just need to give a quick update. I now own a copy of Dreamweb.
Oh my God.
Are you excited?
I know what the offer was. What was the offer?
Yeah, what was the offer? What was the offer?
I reckon he's going to go in at 42.
Yeah,
I reckon he put a message in there saying, "I'll make you famous."
Yeah.
We're dealing exclusives here. Come on, then, Mike. What did you pay? Come on.
47.
Oh, wow. Not far.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
It was up for 55.
Oh, was it 55? I thought it was 50.
No, it's 55.
Did you try 45 first or not?
I actually tried 40 first, but
oh right.
Yeah, and I was like, "What? Get off."
he's got money, no way.
Nice. Wow.
I've got
we're playing Paul. Everything's Paul's fault tonight. Paul's fault.
I'm eating cashews tonight, lads. Does anyone else enjoy a good old cashew nut?
Yeah, they're
I've had them in years. I'm a dry roasted peanuts man.
Salted or unsalted, Paul?
Oh, salted. It's got to be salted.
It's got to be salted.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I bought a packet of the accidentally a few weeks ago that wasn't.
Like the natural ones that have got
it wasn't a great experience. You got used to it in the end, but you were always thinking about the salted ones.
I feel like a pistachio, but it's a lot of pistachios.
Yeah, that's the trouble with pistachios, yeah.
I should sell them unshelled. It'd be much easier.
I would literally just be like, ah.
Yeah.
It's the closed pistachios are the worst.
Oh.
I mean,
Brazils are pretty bad. You know when you've got to open them.
The reason why cashews unsalted don't work is because cashews have got like a sweet taste, and then you've got the salt to offset that.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
quite creamy as well.
Yeah. So it's a thing.
Anyway,
we're talking about everything except
we need to retitle this.
We're talking about creamy nuts here. This is good.
That's
salty nuts. Salty nuts.
You do know that now you said that, Scott, that's going to get clipped out of this. You know that.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be me clipping it. I'll be using it on another stream. Right, okay. We're going to go, I think, with a suggestion that Tetlee had, and that is 8-bit micro clones. And I put games because I don't want people to start going in the chat all the different clone systems, because we're on about the games.
Oh, yeah.
Games. So, right, do you want to take this one away then, Tetlee?
Yeah, can do. Well, I mean, I've got tons of them. My main collection is obviously the Pac-Man ones. I'm just going to put a light on because it's getting a bit dark in here, I just noticed.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do that.
But yeah, I personally, I really enjoy the clones. And if it's good or the crap ones, I still think they're quite good fun just to see what people do with them, really. I mean, if they're crap, they're kind of funny. And if they put their own ideas on it, it's quite interesting seeing what people come up with. And one of my favourites in recent years, I bought that from Si when he was selling the old warehouse games.
What we got here? Hang on.
Defender.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Obviously Defender clone, but it's really, really good. I did a video of this one a while back, and fantastic game on the Specky. It's actually by far the best conversion you can get on there. I don't think did Specky have an official conversion of Defender?
I don't think it did.
I don't think it did it? It had some pretty.
I don't know, but one thing that you said there that I was actually going to say, quite often the clones play better than the originals, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, because another good clone of Defender is this one. I don't know if anybody's played this. I think you had an Acorn, didn't you?
I've got an Acorn, yeah.
Planetoid. Do you ever play that one?
No. See, this is the thing, though. See,
that's not a really good one.
When I got my Acorn, it was around the time I got my injury. So where it had been put away, I couldn't get it out again. So I haven't played it really since. I only had it on a couple of times. So
right. Yeah, that's worth picking up.
I've got one of them multi-cards, the Elk SD, and it's probably got that game on it because basically you download a load of free ROMs onto the SD card along with the software. So it's probably on there. I'll have to have a look. So
yeah, another good clone on the Acorn is Hopper, which is obviously a Frogger clone. That plays really well too. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Well, obviously you're a man when it comes to clones because you collect Pac-Man clones.
Yeah, I've got tons of them.
How many have you got, if you don't mind me asking?
Hang on a minute. Let's see, because I haven't counted them yet. Oh god. I won't show you them all because otherwise I'll be.
Wow.
That's like I'm going to. Right, hang on.
What the hell? How many has he got?
Jesus. There's more than I realised. There's a lot. Right, we're going to get a quick. Right, there's the official. Hang on, I can't line them all up here. And we got that one.
Here is you've got to really like Pac-Man then at this point.
Yeah, one for. Do you know what? I'm not a fanatic of Pac-Man, but I just find the clones real good fun. And you know what you're getting with a Pac-Man clone, more or less. So I got that.
Am I the only one when I see that name Muncher that just has a thought of something else?
Yeah.
Like,
everyone knows it. Everyone knows that one.
Hungry Horace,
yeah, classic. These buggers won't load for me. The two Gobble games, they won't work on the Spectrum Next or a +2A, and Gobble Man's the other one, so I can't play them. Basic one.
Rug Muncher.
Yeah. That was put in the comments, yeah.
Carpet Muncher.
Yeah, that's what it reminds you of, isn't it?
Yeah. Mind you, some of the best Ghost Revenge.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Spectres.
How many ways is there to make Pac-Man though?
There's tons. That's what I mean. It's quite amusing. That's quite a famous one. I expect most people know that one.
Smasher.
Barracuda.
Barracuda.
Okay.
Yeah, you are actually a barracuda going around eating fish. This is one of my favourite ones because it's quite a new one. Look at the artwork on there.
That is so cool.
Is that not one of the most epic artworks you can get? Sorry, I'm trying to get off the reflection there.
Yeah.
I love that little lemon there up in the corner.
I was going to say it looks like a lemon, yeah.
What is Froggy and
Z-Man?
And Z-Man. It's two games in one, so you've got a Frogger clone on one side and a Pac-Man clone on the other.
Oh my god.
This one's quite good. 3D Bat Attack. It's basically a 3D Pac-Man. Apparently, the guy that did this one, he did it like for a magazine or something like that, and then
I thought you were going to say he did it for a laugh or he did it for a bet.
No, it was only like meant for a demo on a magazine. But then Cheetahsoft approached him, offered him a load of money, and bought it off him. But it was called 3D. I think it's called 3D Drakman or something to start with. And then they renamed it because they were worried about sort of having a legal case with Atari. And then that's the last of them. So yeah, that's the collection so far of Pac-Man clones. So yeah, got quite a few of them.
Yeah, just a few. So like Paul's just put here, well mine was a joke, but then he showed Gobble Man. Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, what the F? Imagine telling your mates you were playing Gobble Man. Yes, exactly, yeah. So I'm not alone then, am I?
I've got that one, which is like it's got Pac-Man in it, but it's actually a Donkey Kong game. But you play it as Pac-Man in a Donkey Kong game.
So, you showed me. Is that the one you showed me before, Paul?
Yeah, that's the one game.
Oh, I didn't know it was a Donkey Kong style one. I just assumed it was a straight up Pac-Man clone.
Nah, it's like Donkey Kong where you go up and along. You do. But,
you need to get a video of that one out.
Yeah, I really wanted to involve the guy. I managed to get in touch with the guy who programmed it as well, but yeah, it just hasn't happened. So yeah, I suppose I will make a video about it, but I really wanted to get him on board.
It's unfortunate, really, because that was a really
Yeah.
good story, wasn't it? And for a
And
while,
I
it was-
even like, in the messages, I even offered to send him it back. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you could have it back. Like it was it's his. At the end
it
of
could
the
have
day.
made a really good, like, interesting sort of video
Yeah.
of that, or even just a few videos. Because if that had all panned out, Paul, that would have been a great
Yeah,
story.
shame.
that.
But he just doesn't do Facebook or any socials or anything like that. So
You're gonna have to turn up at his house. With one of those Spectrum Omnis in hand. You can borrow it from Scott, couldn't you? He's got one of them.
He knocks on the door and then he grabs him and goes, "You will have this game back. Like, take it.
Launch
Take
it at him.
now. Take it."
And it's crap. And they one of them didn't do it. No one of them never accepted it.
Is that any good?
There is a clone game on the Commodore 64 which I really enjoy. It's not really a clone, but it is a similar game. And I think is it Jetpack? But on the Commodore 64 we've got Rocket Smash.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I enjoy that game.
It really is such a cool game. The little cutscenes between levels. It's just.
I still need to get that one. I haven't got that one.
I definitely recommend it. It really is it's one of my favorite electronic games. But yeah, that's the only real clone game that I play, really.
You came off Facebook because you was getting 1 million notifications for Retro Bay.
Only 1 million.
Yeah.
Slacking, you see.
To be fair, though, OSG's making some good points all round because he said this earlier on, and this is one of the ones that I put in my list.
Yeah.
Great Gianna Sisters, because I mean, it's kind of
I guess
Mario, so. Yeah, that was one in my list. Right, so there's a couple I jotted down. I'm just going to find my list.
Some newer ones, isn't there, really?
Catechis. That was basically R-Type, wasn't it, really?
What's that on?
Great Gianna Sisters was already one. C64.
Oh, right.
Space Taxi was kind of like a Thrust clone, I suppose. You know, yeah, he has Thrust elements, and which is funny because I hate Thrust, but I like Space Taxi. So, I suppose you could class IK Plus as a kind of clone because that come after Way of the Exploding Fist, didn't it? So,
I
guess.
What was that?
Was that not 2-player?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but I mean, you know, clones are a little.
I suppose it's difficult where they're.
Everything originates after something else, and there's always that kind of base game. I mean, you could say any vertical shooter was a clone of Space Invaders. Like, you know, it's like what determines whether something is or isn't a clone. You know, is it just
because you wouldn't class Gallagher as a clone of Space Invaders, would you?
But really, the only difference is the enemies drop down. Like that's. I mean, so does it need to have? Is it an exact replica, as in gameplay? As soon as you add a new element, is it now a new game in its own right? I guess that might be worth discussing. Like, what makes?
Yeah, it's an interesting point, actually.
OSG has just said Karate Champ. Of course, that was the first.
Yes.
So the likes of Way of the Exploding Fist and IK Plus, they kind of cloned that, really, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
I suppose you've got Mario and Sonic. They've both been cloned onto the Commodore 64.
Yeah. The official ones have now. Yeah. Karate Champ, if I'm right, that's the one where you've got like the people kneeling at the sides and they applaud when you win, right? Is that the one, Karate Champ? I'm sure it is.
I've not played it in years. I remember the arcade Karate Champ.
Yeah, it might be.
Is that one with the 2 joysticks each?
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I used to love that one.
You get the applause. You see it in Bloodsport. It's in the film Bloodsport.
No, I don't think I've seen that.
Van Damme and the other guy play it.
Yeah.
I think it is that. I'm sure it is.
One of the first ever fighting games I ever played was Yi Ar Kung Fu.
Yeah.
That was one of the first for me. I think I played that before I played Karate Champ.
Yeah.
Martin looked angry when you said that, Lee. Is that the IK Plus references on about?
Yeah.
Who said I was taking a shot at it? Did you not hear me say earlier on that clones are quite often better than the originals?
One I could think of. So you've got Gauntlet, obviously, and then you've got Eagle's Nest, which is essentially a World War II skin over Gauntlet. That's one I could think of. And that's a really good game.
Ping pong. I just always remember that noise. Ping pong.
Okay, Rage. Yeah.
So, any more?
Well, the biggest clones really were back in the day on the arcades, weren't they? When you had stuff like Pong, Space Invaders, all of the big games all got clones, didn't they?
Yeah.
Where it kind of generated from. And then with the micros, because they couldn't get the licenses for these games, they just them. I remember Burger Time was. I don't think that ever come out on the Spectrum. You got Mr. Wimpy, which we've already talked about.
Oh yeah.
There was lots. There was so many arcade-inspired clones on the micros, wasn't there?
Yeah, it's true. Like you had that Phoenix, didn't you, with the double E? Hard game to find that one.
It's a really expensive game, but it's a great game. It plays a really good version of Phoenix. Yeah.
What OSG's just put here, I remember hearing this before. They basically tried to get it so that anyone who did a fighting game was going to get done for copyright, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that's crazy. Idiots. So seriously, they actually think that was going to work. Morons. Yeah. So did you say Phoenix a minute ago, Scott? You did, right?
Yeah, me and Tetlee. Yeah, Phoenix. It's just spelt differently on the Spectrum. It's a really good port of the game as well. Plays really fast.
Well, how is it spelt on the Spectrum then?
Double E. B8 ZX.
Oh, okay.
And NIX, yeah, obviously. Really cool artwork as well on the cover.
So it's basically the same game, but they just slightly changed the spelling and that's it.
Yeah, you found that a lot with a lot of the games in the early days on the Spectrum. They just altered the name slightly.
Yeah, it's like there's
Donkey Kong, you had Crazy Kong and things.
Oh yeah, and Killer Kong, I think there was on the Beeb.
Kong, yeah, Killer Gorilla one.
Killer Gorilla, that's it. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that's one I think Slice played, isn't it? I think he played that on one of his videos, Killer Kong or whatever.
Yeah.
What's the one? Is it that one where you have to shoot Kong while he's climbing the building? Is that the one? No, there's a game that Cy played.
That's a more modern one, isn't it? That's a homebrew, I think. That looked quite good. I could do it being reminded what that's called because I wouldn't mind playing that.
He did a video on it where Kong's
he did. Looked really good.
Yeah,
that's right. I don't think you had to shoot. I think you had to protect Kong, didn't you, to help him get to the top or something?
I think you have to shoot down the planes, maybe, in order.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Different spin in the game, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's this? What about Rad Racer on the NES? That's a clone of Outrun because Nintendo couldn't get the license. Yeah, but that's not a micro game, is it? Rad Racer was only on the NES, wasn't it? Or was it on a micro?
I used to have one called Rad Ramp Racer, but I think I've got that one as well.
Yeah.
It's a game I used to love as a kid.
Oh, he's put underneath. Actually, when I said that, oh no, he answered his own thing there.
I'll tell you something. Saying about the names is quite interesting. Oh, sorry.
Oh, that was just Rad Ramp Racer. I used to play as a kid. Used to be able to be like on a BMX or skateboard and stuff.
Oh, I think I played that.
Yeah, it was a really popular game back in the day. It was just a budget game, but it was pretty decent.
Yeah.
A little bit like Wheelie on the screenshots there.
Yeah, probably a similar sort of thing. There was a Skips one, I think, that was similar as well. If I remember right.
Wasn't that Crazy Clumsy Colin or something? Skips one.
Yeah.
I forget the name, but it's a side-scrolling motorbike like one, isn't it? If I remember right. Insects in Space was a decent Defender clone on a C64. See, that title sounds familiar as well.
Is that the one with the naked woman flying around? with her boobs wobbling about. I think it is.
Is it not a Llama Stuff game? Is it not a Jeff Minter game?
Action Biker. That's what.
I'm sure that's a Jeff Minter game or something like that. I haven't got it.
What, Insects in Space?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure. I don't know now.
Right, I was just put, yeah, that's the one, but I don't know who he's answering. I don't know if he's answering.
Yeah, I think he's answering Paul.
Is he?
Yeah.
Because obviously Tetlee was saying, is this the one with the woman with her boobs out?
I think it is.
Yes, I think it is. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, it must have been in the Houston. Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew I played it recently. So.
Right, hang on. 2 seconds, I'll check. So he's probably going to now check if it is the one with the boobs. And he's now put,
no boobies. Oh, gutted.
No jokes.
No boobies, no sale.
No the boobies. Like
that's obviously like a fantasy of yours somewhere.
I think he's saying that it is the boobies one.
It's saying it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's no the boobies.
There you go.
I do seem to remember a game where there was something like that, because it's a woman with wings, if I'm right, isn't it? And she's facing the screen. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I'm pretty sure that's. I'm sure it's a Jeff Minter game. I'm sure it's a Llama. No, well, unless Jeff Minter done it for Houston, I'm sure it was made by Minter for some reason. I don't know why.
Sounds like one of his type games, doesn't it?
Shall I have a look and see if I can find this legendary?
Yeah, just got 1164. Just got 1164, and then
it's called Insects in Space, right?
Yeah.
It's developed by Sensible Software, and
it's definitely not Minter then.
And it was released by Houston.
It's definitely not Jeff Minter then. If it's Sensible, I don't think he's ever worked with them. There you go. Totally wrong.
Hang on, it looks like Insects in Space was also on the Amiga. Right, hang on. Let me share that, because I have just found a picture, but I don't know how big it's going to show up. So, can you see that?
Loading in.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, it's tiny.
It is tiny though. That's the problem. I can't. See if I can.
He's watching us on a phone. That really is tiny for Tetlee.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
yeah.
Especially on my phone screen.
I'm looking at it on a 30-inch screen, so
I can't enlarge it, so it won't show anything. But you can clearly see that is a woman with a jug hanging out, I would say. so that would say that you're definitely right. So I think we've confirmed it. So,
Minter done sheep in space, not insects in space.
There you go.
So yeah, there you go. We've done our bit for King and Country.
Another one I can think of was obviously all the Daley Thompson games were clearly clones of Track and Field from the arcade.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
true.
They were pretty much just exactly the same, weren't they?
Yeah, so is the.
I suppose if you think about it, half of them in Spectrum games were probably clones of some sort or another.
Yeah, it's true. Right, okay. Let's go back to our topics. Right, now, obviously, we normally finish on homebrew, but Martin had a thing that's homebrew related, and I know that there was something that Paul wanted to talk about that's homebrew related. So we'll do Martin's one first, and that is this one. Are homebrew games making OG games look bad?
It was more of a discussion point, right? Because obviously you guys know I buy an awful lot of new homebrew stuff, and I do find myself now gravitating.
No, you don't, do you?
I know. In case you didn't know this, but I do find myself now gravitating to those more than I may do the original game. So it's not of course they're not a bad thing. It's a great thing that the community keeps going and these games keep coming out. But you know, is it kind of highlighting that maybe there was low effort into some of these games back in the day, or tight time schedules, or whatever it might have been? And yeah, just thought it'd be interesting to see the people have any opinions on that topic, really. Yeah.
Sorry, drinking.
We do.
I'll tell you what. I'll go last. What do you think, Scott? You buy quite a bit of homebrew, don't you?
I think they work really well in unison with the original games because obviously you've got the nostalgic side of the original games, but it's nice that it's keeping that system current. And I love seeing how far they can push, like the Spectrum or the Commodore. And every time a new game comes out, every year, there is another game that makes me go, wow, that is amazing. I cannot believe that is playing on a micro, you know. So I would still say I play as many original games as I do homebrew games. But there is something about buying a brand new homebrew game on a micro, unwrapping it.
It's that nostalgia from something new.
It is crazy, isn't it? It is like a drug. You know, as soon as the new homebrew's game is out, and if I can get it, I will. It's just such
if it works even better.
Yeah, it works.
We'll get back onto that one again.
Yeah. Talking about you, Bitmap.
No user error. You know, it works first time.
Get it over to Dr. Martin.
We
should have the bitmaps of
we should have a special segment, especially for bashing bitmaps on.
Yeah, just every month,
every stream.
They did call for it. They did put it on themselves.
Sorry, Scott. Go on, carry on. Sorry, we interrupted you.
Yeah, no, you're right. I just think, I think they work really well together. I wouldn't say. I don't play the original games because stuff like Attic Attack and Death Chase and all of those, they're timeless games. You know, to me, they're still amazing games. But yeah, there's something about the homebrew game. I just want to see what's next, you know, because each time I think this is it. They can't make this game any better. They do it. You know, someone will come along with a game that's just amazing.
Yeah. I was saying here, OSG, have you seen some of the new MSX2 games?
Oh, yeah. The homebrew team on that is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get mine working.
ZX81 as well.
Yeah, they do seem to be releasing a lot.
Oh, ZX81's got some incredible stuff.
What's also interesting about the MSX is a lot of the games are getting converted over to the ColecoVision. Because I'm discovering a massive like indie scene, especially in America, obviously, because the Coleco done better over there.
Yeah.
But they've brought out all these things, and I think the sort of setup of a Coleco is very similar to the MSX, so they find it easy to port the games. So I think that really helps the MSX scene as well. It's mad what they bring out. There's some crazy looking games on the MSX.
It's interesting now, isn't it? Because like when you think about it, you know, back in the day they would have been in competition with each other. But really, if they had worked together, they probably would have had better quality stuff out.
Yeah.
At the time. It's funny, isn't it? Sometimes it works better when you work together. You make more money. Yeah, it's interesting that. Tetlee, what do you think?
Yeah, I probably kind of agree with Scott, really. I mean, there are sort of it depends, doesn't it? I mean, if it was a really duff game to start with, and then a homebrew version makes the game a lot better, then I probably wouldn't go back to the original version. So if you take, for instance, on the Specky Kung Fu Master,
yes,
and then you play Mr. Kung Fu, I couldn't go back to playing Kung Fu Master again. It's just such a horrible, clunky conversion, that one.
Yeah.
But you know, there's other games where if it's sort of if the original isn't completely broken in that sense, then I'd still quite enjoy playing the original for nostalgia. But so yeah, it kind of goes hand in hand, really. I'd probably play, on average, I expect I'd probably 50-50 split between playing old games and homebrew stuff, I expect.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it's a game that's already damaged, you can't really do any worse by redoing it, you know.
Yeah.
It's like when we've had this conversation about films, isn't it? You know, like when we talked about reboots, and I've always said the reason why a lot of reboots don't work is because they try and reboot films that were already great. You should reboot films that were rubbish, and then you improve on them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I imagine it's the same.
Another example would be one of the sort of fairly recent pickups, but these are prime examples really of that, because the Specky never had good ones of these, and that's don't need to zoom in because it's just a basic label, but the Midnight Brew Asteroids RX, really good version. And really, the Asteroids games on Specky were pretty crap. So I don't think I'd want to go back and play any of those originals now. So, you know, kind of depends a little bit on how decent the original ones were. But like what Scott was saying with Attic Attack, that's such a good game already that, you know, you're never going to sort of stop going back to the decent ones, are you?
No.
Yeah.
Same with Renegade, Target Renegade. Those games are still fantastic games. Robocop.
Yeah.
I can go back and play them all day long.
I think OSG's made a good point here about, you know, how it's now pretty much just 2 consoles, 3 at a push. You know, back in the day, we had like 10 different ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a shame, isn't it? Because it's us, the gamer, that puts it out. We lose that choice. We don't have that excitement. I can remember in the 90s, sort of like once you got out the micro scene, and then in the 90s, just every company was bringing out a console or bringing something out. So each year, there was a new release of something you're excited about. Even if it absolutely nosedived and done terrible, like the Jaguar and the 3DO, the Philips CDI, they all tanked, but they were exciting at the time.
Yeah, but it was only a good thing if you wasn't the one who got stuck with the thing that tanked. That's the problem.
That's the trouble, I suppose. Yeah.
I mean, I remember how many kids I was at school with rushed out and bought the Atari Lynx, and how disappointed they were when the Game Gear come out. You know, I remember that. They were miserable as sin. Like, you know, and their parents like, no, you're not having the Game Gear. I bought you a Lynx. Like, you know,
think of them kids that got the Commodore 64 console.
Oh yeah, poor buggers. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
The one where the game that you got with it didn't even work because you had to press
the keyboard.
You didn't have.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing, isn't
it? That's the thing with Commodore. Like when they made a screw up, they really screwed up, didn't they? Like they didn't do anything small, did they? It had to be like
they chucked all the cartridges together with they chucked all the cartridges in with the Commodore 64C and come up with like a limited, like a box set sort of thing. That's the Terminator pack. That's why the Terminator pack exists. But yeah, it was meant to be originally coming out with the Commodore 64 GS. But there's a little option screen where it's like you've got to press T for Terminator, or there's like some other program which nobody ever uses anyway. I have no idea what it does or anything. So it's like ridiculous that it's even there. Like it really doesn't need to be there, but it is. It makes it completely useless.
Going off topic a little bit, what OSG's put out, I mean, I couldn't agree more. Because back in the day, Dreamcast, I didn't pay any attention to it because at that point, I knew it would fail because the Saturn did, you know. But now, being older and now getting one of these, you do realise like it was ahead of its time, and the amount of potential it had. Like, I mean, the games still look good on a Dreamcast now, don't they?
Gamers weren't ready. People weren't ready for the Dreamcast because it was so ahead of its time. The online play here in the UK was still up on dial-up, and things just didn't fall into place for Sega. But that's the only console and system that bucks the trend. And they always say that for a great console or computer, you've got to have the software and the games.
Yeah.
And the Dreamcast was the only one that had great games, a great library. You think it was only 2 years old, and it had a fantastic library of games, but it absolutely nosedived and flopped. And it was all because it was ahead of its time and copyright, and people could just burn the discs. It killed it.
I'll tell you what, it's got some fantastic homebrew games on it, though.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's a system that they're doing some really good things with.
Yeah.
That was the first Sega console I was ever going to buy, was a Dreamcast. I was saving up for one, and then I heard that they were sort of axing it or whatever you class it as, and so yeah, I didn't spend my money on it then. But I was all keen to buy it. That was the first one I wanted of Sega.
Again, it's another thing. Like, you know, Sega was a bit like Commodore in that respect. You know, just silly little mistakes. You know, and unfortunately, because of some of the things they've done, they were alienating people. You know, like when they brought the 32X out, and then. How long was it? Like, it wasn't even a year later when they brought
9 months.
And they brought out something else, you know, and then they brought out the Saturn, and no one was really that interested in the Saturn. What they were, but then the PlayStation come out, you know, And so by the time you got to the Dreamcast, people had just had enough at that point.
I think a lot of it as well is back then companies took big risks.
Yeah.
To try and captivate and get an audience. And unfortunately, big companies now do not take those risks. Sony and really, you can't tell an Xbox from PlayStation nowadays. But back then, you know, Sega, Commodore, all of them, they took a risk to try and do something different. And sometimes it failed miserably. You know, even Nintendo failed big time with things like the Virtual Boy and stuff like that. And some of their consoles didn't do too great. But then they go and bring out something like the Wii. And, you know, it sells to everyone, not just gamers. And, you know, I think that's why I have a lot of respect for Nintendo, because I think out of all of the people still in the market today, they're the only one that will still take a risk. You know, Sony and Microsoft, they're just boring. They just do the same old thing and just give you a bit more horsepower. But whereas Nintendo will mix it up, you know, I'm really excited to find out what Nintendo do next. I hope it's not just a Switch 2.
Yeah.
They build on that, you know. It's going to be really fascinating what they do next. Nintendo.
Might be a Wii U 2.
Oh, let's hope not.
Yeah, let's hope not. I actually think that's the worst name for a console ever. That
it was, yeah.
I remember when it come out, just hearing the name, I was like, that's going to be crap.
Well, it sounded like an add-on, didn't it, for a start?
Yeah,
I think that's what most people thought. Most people
it was
thought it
confusing, wasn't it? It didn't sound like a new console. It sounded like something you bought to go with the other one. Yeah.
You think about it in going back to micros and computers, is in that, like, the PC dominated in the end, and it's now just that one format. When back then you had every single company trying to be the next home computer, and yes, the PC dominated and took over and wiped everything out. But just think how different life would be if we still had Amigas and things like that. I think it would be a lot more.
That is really it, though, isn't it? A PlayStation 5 and an Xbox, they are just PCs now. They are. You develop the games in the same way. They're not unique architectures like they were back in the day for these companies. They are just essentially all three, whether you own a PC, an Xbox, or PlayStation. It's only the licensing that differentiates them, really. So you get unique games on the PlayStation, but that's only because of the license. You know,
just give me 2 minutes. I've just got to shoot. I'll be back.
Cool.
Okay,
and it was cool when systems had their own sort of look and style to the games. I mean, for instance, I just picked up a video pack recently. I only paid 10 quid for it on eBay, so I took a gamble if it was going to even work. But the games on there, they're just so sort of quirky, and you know, they match that system, if you know what I mean. You can see all the sort of the games, and they're all on that sort of similar style, and that's something you miss now, isn't it? Because like, who is it was saying just now? I think it might have been yourself, Lee, that you know, sort of Xbox and PlayStation are all sort of much of a muchness, isn't it? There's no real sort of distinct style to the games, apart from like the ones that are done by Sony or something like that.
You know, when you're playing a Commodore 64 game, because of the sound, because of the look. You know when you're playing a Spectrum game. You know when you're playing an Amstrad game. You know when you're playing an Amiga or an Atari ST game. But now, if someone puts in a new game, I wouldn't know whether that was an Xbox or a PlayStation. Unless someone told me, you wouldn't know, would you?
Yeah.
And you've lost that individuality. You've lost that creativity in gaming now, which is a shame.
Yeah, big time.
I was just thinking, I think it was Paul's turn to answer this question, wasn't it? Because did you answer it, Tetlee? You did, didn't you?
I think yeah.
So I think it was Paul.
I mean, whilst Paul's on his way back, obviously this was a tongue-in-cheek topic because everyone knows I love both the homebrew and it. But what I think you said, Scott, was really good in that. I think what you was alluding to was that the homebrew games do highlight. If a game was shit, it is even shitter now. Like, it really is. To me, like, I play some games and I think, how the hell did they even get this through any level of QA or any level of testing, or how did this even get out for sale? Because let alone being as good as good original Commodore 64 games, it's a country mile away from what they've done now with homebrew. And it's made bad games even worse for me. They are just unforgivable.
I'm not saying Airwolf.
But there's a hope there, right? You hope that someone maybe redoes. Who imagine a homebrew version now of Airwolf? That would be fantastic.
Just get the game, make the helicopter hover, and you've got an instant success, isn't it? That's all they'd have to do.
It'd probably be too easy, wouldn't it?
You've got to also remember back in the day, they had ridiculous timescales to get these
Yeah.
games out. They would be coded by one person, 2 people in a bedroom. You know, these publishers, they were just thinking of the money. They didn't care if these games worked or not. They just put them out. The amount of games that were put out there that were not finished because they thought, well, kids are never going to finish these games.
Yeah, but how incompetent are you when you make a helicopter game and it can't hover?
Well, I mean, there you go.
You've got to be really shit at your job, haven't you? Like, you really have. That's what makes a helicopter.
Maybe you've never been in a chopper.
Or seen
one. Yeah.
Well, actually, the game's not like Airwolf anyway, so
no.
But to Scott's point, I mean, when you look on the back of even a homebrew game, you know, they are made by one person. When you complete Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, you look at the credits at the end of that game. There are thousands of people that have made that game, and understand. But I do feel like homebrew has highlighted how shit some games were.
Airwolf ain't that bad.
I like the music. The music's good.
Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, he says it's not that bad, and as an adult, maybe not. But as a kid, he was a massive fan of Airwolf, and then getting that. I mean, that was like getting a proper kick in the balls. That was when you got that game.
Yeah, but we done it every time. We were suckers, though, because every time game that come out, I would buy and be utterly disappointed pretty much 7 times out of 10. Do you know what I mean? You know, one Airwolf, there was Knight Rider. Did you ever play that? Or
yeah.
They were terrible.
Thundercats on the 264. That was awful.
All of them sort of games that were.
See, at least now looking back, some of this shit's got a kind of charm to it, hasn't it? It wasn't so good when you just spent your pocket money on it, but
See, that's the thing for me. I mean, I look at this in the way that does it make them look bad? No, but it does also. What it does is it shines a light on the fact that if back in the day they'd spent more time on them or had more time, they would have made games just as well, and also would have understood the limits of the software and the hardware and all that. You know, which of course is.
But then there's a lot of new tricks that have been learned, haven't there, over the years? I suppose.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, like when we had what's his name on here? His name's gone right. Yeah, we was talking about the Next, and I've said this before. When I said to him, "Is it a 16-bit system?" because it looks almost Amiga level, he said, "No, it's 8-bit, but there's a little bit of trickery." So, like you just said there, you know, it's techniques they've learned to enhance things. So, this is it, isn't it? Imagine if you knew all that stuff back then, or if we had that little bit more time to develop things, you know. But
because I'm guessing back then they probably didn't share techniques. I mean, just as an example, I go on, there's a BBC Micro forum, and I've seen people there like asking developers of homebrew games how they did certain things, and they would share little tips on how they got certain effects to work and all that type of thing. And I'm guessing you probably didn't really have that so much back in the day, would you? They'd have probably kept all that quiet, so it made it a lot harder for people to, you know, sort of gain these understandings of stuff than what they can now with a homebrew.
Yeah, there's no way like a company like Ultimate Play the Game would share the way that they were making the Spectrum do what it done back then, because there was no other designers or publishers that could do what they were doing back then.
No.
The thing is, though, I mean, you know, technology moves so fast, doesn't it? That by the time these companies are getting to a level where they're going to get like the best out of these systems, the next thing's out, isn't it?
It wasn't bad back then, I don't think. Like, I don't know. Like the 64 came out in what 82, so and it was still around getting produced. I think 91. I think it went out, wasn't it, or later?
I mean, but when did the Amiga come out? I mean,
no, the Amiga I think was it 87 or 88?
Yeah, so it was already there, wasn't it? That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Right?
It was well supported. The ecology was well supported into the life of the Amiga.
Really well.
It was. But let's be honest. I mean, they probably weren't paying as much attention to C64 stuff as they would have been to the Amiga stuff.
I don't know.
You know, like the companies
number one selling computer in the world
when PS5 were out. You know.
Yeah, but it's very different back then because a lot of people still was playing 8-bit even when 16
Mm.
was long. Look at
a huge market there.
Look at the consoles. The NES in the UK was selling better in the 90s than it did in the 80s.
Mm.
It's a simple
Yeah,
fact.
quite the same mentality as we do now. When there's the new console, we all want to jump on the new console. Like,
Yeah.
I think back when you sweated the asset as long as you possibly could, right? So that you didn't have to spend money.
In Brazil, they've only just stopped manufacturing the Master System.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Wow. The Mega Drive is still being made there.
Yeah. The Master System is like the longest running, like.
It is. It was a question on the quiz.
It's true. It's true.
Wow, that's crazy.
I used to have a guy that used to live opposite me who was from Brazil, and I remember him telling me about it. Yeah.
So they got a massive homebrew scene for the Master System over there then to go with it. I take it they're not just playing like all the old games.
Well, it's Tech Toy, which is actually licensed by Sega.
I was about to say it's officially licensed. It's not even a homebrew.
Yeah.
It's all to do with tax. Any imports into Brazil, they pay a huge amount of tax. So it's easy to have a company there that make them in the country and then sell them in that country so they avoid the tax.
Mind you, when I was over in Argentina, that was 2006. But even when we left, which was 2009, most people over there were still playing on PlayStation 1s.
Yeah.
You didn't really have much else. Which I don't know when did the PlayStation 1 sort of, when did PlayStation 2 and that come out?
Was that 2000?
Because hardly anyone was playing PS1s back home.
Yeah, it was early 2000.
Yeah, because hardly anyone would be playing those at that time back here, you know.
I mean, I'm just thinking because like PS1 probably out of the PlayStations had the shortest lifespan, I think, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. 97 or something. I think, was it? I can't remember when the PlayStation 1 came out.
I don't know.
It seemed like
October 96 or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 96.
Yeah, I mean, when you
remember buying it with your birthday money.
Most consoles after that were about 8 years, weren't they?
Yeah.
So
I suppose as it went on, each generational leap was a bit sort of smaller, wasn't it? Really,
absolutely,
in sort of power and everything.
I can hardly tell the difference. Really.
Yeah, but I mean, as you go on after PS1, like the other PlayStations, the life expectancy was longer.
Yeah.
So, but then,
it seemed like
Mike
PS1
says,
was around for donkey's years, but
like Martin says, they're practically PCs these days, though. So that's why, isn't it? I suppose.
Mm.
I mean, they patch everything, they update everything, so they last longer.
Yeah,
big in Brazil and Korea.
It's no longer unique chipsets. They're still the chipset is the same, so they're designed for the same. Therefore, you know, when you had a Mega Drive or a Super Nintendo, you had to design to the chipset that was in there. You had to program in a certain way. Where now it's the same. Yeah, it's the same. You know, they're all using the you know, whatever Unreal Engine they're using, or you know, whichever engine they're building on. That's the only uniqueness. It's not unique to the actual hardware itself. It's just the coding that they're using to do it. So yeah, I think there is a lot of that magic's gone. You know, like you say, Scott, I could tell an Amiga game from an Atari ST game from, you know, a distance. I could walk into a room and go, that's an Amiga game and that's an Atari ST game. You just kind of felt it. It was in the control, in the sound, it was in the graphics. There was loads that would just give it away.
Color palette as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this is the thing. Go back to what you were saying there. I mean, it's like when you look at, for example, SNES. You know, when they started putting the chips in the cartridge to enhance it. You know, that's not something you'd see now. Obviously, you know, it's all like software now, isn't it?
Yeah. And we've lost that magic of being like, oh, you were either an Atari ST or you're an Amiga person, and then you'd have the banter and all this, and that's all. And we do it in fun. I mean, even when me and Paul were down in Arms the Cave, and Paul was showing me Stunt Car Racer on the Atari ST. Is it better? Maybe.
It ran nice.
No way I'm gonna have that. You know, because to me it's like that's an Amiga game, and that's what I love. So
I think it was originally out on the Atari ST. I think it was ported to the Amiga.
Yeah, it got ported over. Yeah.
You can do like a cross-platform link. I'm pretty sure, and play against like an Amiga versus an Atari.
Yeah, someone did tell me that. Was it
probably Psy
or Psy? It might have been Psy. Yeah, it was either Psy or OSG. Someone did tell me that.
It could be yours,
play them. Yeah.
If you want to rough it and play it with an Atari ST owner, then sure, yeah, you can do that.
I'll join you on the Beeb.
Right. Okay. Let's get into homebrew because I'm watching the time, and I know that there was something that Paul wanted to.
It doesn't matter. I'm not fussed about that, mate.
Oh well, we're in it anyway now.
Whatever. Yeah.
One of the things that Paul pointed out was that the homebrew scene for Amiga seems to be lacking. I think that's a good thing to talk about. To be honest, he's absolutely 100% right.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
He's lacking, isn't it? I think you bought a few, Martin, haven't you?
Yeah, I'll grab a couple that I've got.
How about you, Paul? Have you got any?
I've only got one, and it's in.
I know what that is.
Go on, take a guess then, Tetlee. Let's see if you know what it is.
Devil's Temple.
Yeah, I reckon you're right.
It is Devil's Temple.
Yeah.
What a game that is, though. What a game.
He's not selling that. He's not selling it physical anymore, is he?
Well, you know what? He was giving one away at the weekend, but that's a whole other.
I saw that. Yeah, I follow him on YouTube.
He's on Twitter as well, and there's been a bit of a fallout in the Amiga community. You could say.
Yeah, I saw it.
Really? Really, has there?
Yeah, so I've only got 3 that I can think of.
I like that only. I've only got 3 instead of 30, which is normally what he has.
The first 2 are Cytronics games, believe it or not. This is a new company I've started buying stuff from called Cytronics. I've not really got much of their stuff. So there's this one here called. This is actually a terrible game. So in my opinion.
Is it Earthquake or Starquake?
Starquake.
I'm sure that was originally.
And it's a bit of a sort of platformer collecting. I can't really make much sense of it, so I'm sorry. I'm sure it was.
The screenshots look quite good.
Yeah, but so the screenshots do look great if that was an 8-bit machine. Like,
that's true enough. Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't think that looked good for an Amiga game. Yeah.
Did you do a video on that one, Martin?
I might have featured it on like a Monday Night Retro or something. I don't think I actually did.
I've seen you play it at some point.
Yeah, I've definitely done it on camera, but I can't remember if I did an actual video on it.
That Starquake, Martin, is actually originally a Spectrum game.
I thought it might be. Yeah, I thought it
might
be. Really?
Yeah, I thought it sounded familiar.
You're like a little robot and you've got to go around collecting things. It's actually a really good game. When you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Bubble Bus software.
Yeah,
the question is it better on the Spectrum?
Yeah, if it was a Commodore 64 game, or like a clone from the Spectrum or something, I'd have a lot more forgiveness for it. But because it's an Amiga game, my expectations are obviously significantly higher.
Yeah,
and it's a poor for me an Amiga game. It's just not. Yeah. It's just not good enough. This one's quite good. It's called Rotator.
Oh, that's the one
I've seen you play that one.
That's the one I saw you play, Rotator. That's it.
And this has got proper Amiga feel to it, right? It's got those kind of like God's graphics, like really smooth and like, just really nice looking graphics. And you're basically this ball, this disc spaceship, and you use momentum to make your way around the screen and collecting things, and then obviously you have to get to the exit, and it really works quite well based on how fast you're spinning the ship. So it's got some really cool mechanics in it. It can be a bit frustrating. It is a puzzle game after all.
I did get that impression when you played it.
Game, Yeah.
When you
that one I can definitely recommend if you want to pick up something for your Amiga.
Do they still sell that?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, you did come across a little frustrated at times when you played that. I remember.
Oh, it's hard as hell, man. It's definitely nothing.
Probably best to avoid that one.
It is also hard drive installable. So if you've got an Amiga with a hard drive in it, if you're using an updated one, you can obviously install it into Workbench and play it directly from Workbench. And then the last one I've got is a bit of an R-Type clone, and it's called Invia or something. It's a really weird.
That's nice artwork. Is that like a steelbook?
The box is super cool.
Foil,
it looks great on the back, but it is basically an R-Type.
Cool.
Clone.
Can you imagine if that had come out back in the day? Remember how we all used to like the foil cards, We used to go there and the foil hologram-like cards.
So this is a company. If you've not seen this company, they're called Polyplay. You should definitely go.
Aren't they out in Russia or somewhere?
Yes.
I don't think you can buy anything physical from them at the moment, if I'm not wrong.
They do some fantastic. The actual game.
Oh, look at that!
The quality of the stuff is fantastic. Like the book you get. This is the manual.
The manual, look,
yeah, that is cool.
Artwork all the way through it.
Ah, it's very nice. I like that.
And then there's even a poster as well. So, like I don't think they're cheap. I think this one's got tons of stuff in it. It's got like a badge you can stick on your denim jacket if you've got one.
Oh yeah, patch.
You can put that on your cap.
Yeah, I could do. Yeah, you get the game on SD card as well. So if you're using any other solutions, you can play the game via that.
Can I ask, Martin? Was that an expensive one? That one?
I think it was. I'm going to guess around sort of in the 40s, so like 45-ish quid maybe.
Oh, that's reasonable. Yeah, that's good for what you're.
I think the shipping was pricey there, wasn't it, from them?
I don't think it was actually that bad. I know. Yeah, you've got a full size.
Oh, that's a nice poster.
Very nice. Yeah,
that'd be on my wall if I had that.
I might try and get that up on the wall in Commodore Corner or something. But yes,
price. It's a reasonable price. I think that's pretty good for what you're getting.
Yeah, you get a lot in there. It's a very high quality product. But I mean, to say that I have got another.
They haven't. Sorry, I've just looked at the.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, exactly.
Developing games for Spectrum.
I've got.
Is it a decent game, Martin? That one you just showed us just now.
Yes.
Is it actually a good game?
Yeah, it is. It's not. It is good. It's not. It's not as good as some of the R-type tame games out there. But as far as a shoot 'em up on your Amiga goes, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's all right. It's classic.
Is it harder or easier than R-type?
I think it's easier than R-type. Yeah.
Oh, well, that wouldn't be a bad thing for me.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the Polyplay. I've only had a couple. I've got a couple of other products, but they were on the Commodore 64, like this one. But they do put a lot of love and care into their actual.
Oh yeah,
I've seen that one. Saw that on site. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I think that was on all different formats. That one, that cursor, whatever it is.
Yeah, but to the point of what Paul was saying, the homebrew scene. There's a difference, right? I think there is quite a lot of homebrew games for the Amiga. There aren't many that have come out physically, so I guess it depends on what you want.
Yeah.
If you're happy with digital only, you can go to itch.io and you can probably find a whole plethora of them to play. But there doesn't seem to be many people out. I mean, literally. I mean, Cytronic have got 50 plus Commodore 64 homebrew physical games. And I think on the Amiga they've got 3. So,
it seems to me the standard is quite low though, because when I watched is it Saberman and a couple of others on YouTube, and they always sort of show this sort of homebrew scene of the various computers and that. But the Amiga ones tend to look really, really quite poor. The lot of the homebrew games, they kind of look like your typical public domain discs. Remember when you used to get them on the magazines back in the day? A lot of the homebrew games don't look that different to that, I don't think. Probably why they don't find their physical releases so much.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know. Obviously, I'm assuming an Amiga game takes a significantly more effort. Where if you're good at coding, can you knock up a Commodore 64 game in a few weeks? Probably. On an Amiga game, you've got to have probably a lot more skills, I imagine. I don't know, but there does seem to be a real lack compared to, say, the Commodore 64 and the others. Yeah.
The thing is, it's a bit of a tricky one, isn't it? Because when you look at that era, I suppose, I mean, as successful as the Amiga was, let's be honest, let's not muck about. If we really look at the 16-bit era, it was more dominated by the consoles, wasn't it? If we're on it. Right.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's where the problem is, where people look at it and they go, I've got this idea for a game. Should I code it for the Amiga? No, sod that. I'll do it for the Mega Drive, or I'll do it for, you see what I mean?
I wonder how many Amigas were sold in total. The 500, the Plus, the 6, the 12, CD32. I wonder in total how many that would actually add up to.
Yeah.
So I don't think they sold that many 1200s, did they? I don't think.
The entire Amiga line sold 4.8 million units. So
but
that's right from Amiga 500, 1000,
exactly.
3000, 3000, 4000, and all that.
So my
sort of
question,
Which one? Which?
hang on. So my question in response to that: how many Mega Drives sold? And there's a reason why I'm asking that, because if you didn't code a game for a Mega Drive, how many more people are going to buy it? That's what I'm thinking. Like maybe this is the thinking that people have
over 10 times more. So
It's
42.
got to be. You
There you
think
go.
the big Amiga games like Shadow of the Beast, the Lotus games, they all got converted to the Mega Drive. A lot of Amiga games got converted to the Mega Drive, more so on the Mega Drive than the Super Nintendo.
Exactly.
Chaos Engine, they
And
all
it's
come
because
out
more people had them. Yeah.
I wonder what those numbers would be like in the UK. Like what the same, but like in the UK, because I think the UK was a little bit different. I think we were definitely still a little bit more into our micros, more than what the in the States and stuff like that. So I'm just wondering if the UK would be maybe not book the trend, because like everyone had a Mega Drive, didn't they?
1.5 million Amiga units sold in the UK.
There you go.
Which was the biggest seller Amiga then, do you think? Would it be the A500?
Yeah, the 500.
Yeah,
probably.
Mile, I reckon.
Yeah, most people, like, I think probably by the time the 1200 come out, we're on to other things probably.
Yeah.
It might be close between the 500 and the 1000, because obviously the 1000, whilst it wasn't a home machine, a lot of companies may have had a 1000. So I don't know. As a business machine, that may have tipped it a bit, because only one person in a family has a 500, where a company may have 20 of them in their finance department or something. So it's it might be a close one, but yeah, obviously not huge. But I would argue this though, regardless of what all of that we've just said, even the 16-bit scene for home. So whether you said there's loads more Mega Drive sold or SNES is sold, all that, actually that entire era, a homebrew scene isn't huge. You don't see much Mega Drive homebrew or SNES.
No,
I don't know. There is quite.
You see a lot of Mega Drive now.
You don't see much SNES, do you?
Yeah,
no,
not so much SNES, but Mega Drive. There is a bit out.
In comparison to what I'm trying to say is in comparison to the 8-bit scene, right? The 8-bit scene seems to me, if you're going to get into homebrew, 8-bit's where you go. Because if you go 16, 32,
well, the media must be a lot cheaper for a start, mustn't it? With the cassettes, I suppose.
Cartridges aren't cheap. Yeah.
I also think what's relevant with the Amiga homebrew scene is that I think a lot of people that follow the Amiga are in the scene. I've seen a lot of hostility towards people that are bringing out physical media for the Amiga. A lot of people get a very hard time, so they tend to shy away from it. So therefore, if there's no monetary value or any way of getting your game out there, or it's a lot more difficult, because I've seen lots of people over the years, especially on YouTube, showing off new Amiga games.
Paul, wasn't it?
The hatred, because a lot of Amiga followers don't like the whole concept of physical media. They still.
I think it's because as Amiga owners, we didn't like to pay for anything. That's why.
Yeah, no, because back in the day, the only Amiga games I ever had that were real, genuine, were what were bought for me for a birthday or a Christmas present.
I mean, you got a copy of X copy at school.
Yeah,
yeah.
All my games, I swapped discs with mates in the playground. Do you know what I mean? So it kind of set that scene, isn't it? Maybe. There we go. Look.
Yeah. And then you got old style gaming. He's just said, Game Boy has a lot of homebrew. Yeah, it does.
Yes, there's some
Sam's Journey is coming out next week on the NES. It's a direct port as well. I was speaking to I think Martin's seen the post, and I asked her, is it a direct port or is it new? And no, it's a direct port, but they have done a couple of things different apparently. But I'm looking forward to seeing how well the NES and the Commodore 64, how different they look and how they play.
So my question is, how much is that compared to the C64 version? Is one cheaper than the other, or?
So they've got one, I think it's €50, so probably, what's that, like 45 quid for just the normal box set, like what you'll get as a Sam's Journey if you bought the Commodore 64 version. But there's one for like €150 or something, and you get like a figure and all sorts of shit in there.
Yeah.
yeah, that's only two that I think are for sale. But it'll be interesting to see how they compare.
Yeah. Well, the other thing to think about is also that an NES cartridge would last longer. Like over
The one
time.
thing I will say though is
the C64 one.
Did they do a cartridge? I thought it was
Yeah,
just this.
No, it's a cartridge. Mine's cartridge.
Oh,
they
okay.
only done cartridge and disc, didn't they? For
Yeah, I've got the disc.
Well, I thought it was just this. That's why I said that. I thought it was
Nah.
only this they did. Right, got you.
What would be interesting to know with Sam's Journey is how it sounds on a NES. That's what will be really interesting.
I must admit, Paul must have read me mind there.
Yeah. That's why I put it up. I thought I'd put it up and see if any of you noticed what he said. That's why I didn't comment.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah, I genuinely would love to see some more Amiga homebrew stuff. Like I've fallen in love again, as you guys know, with the 64, and a big part of that is obviously nostalgia,
Really?
but another big part of that is the homebrew scene that's really brought me into it. I haven't had that same feeling with the Amiga. Like I've gone back and played all the classics on the Amiga, but there hasn't been the Sam's Journey, the games that have been out there on the Commodore, so there hasn't been the equivalent on the Amiga as far as I'm concerned at the moment.
Well, I haven't bought a single homebrew for the Amiga yet.
Yeah.
I haven't bought a single homebrew for the Amiga yet.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird, really.
And imagine what they could. Well, you would hope. Look what they've done to the C64. Look at those games and how far they've pushed that system, and the Spectrum, and the Amstrad. Imagine if someone
another
could.
thing you've got to factor in is if the Amiga done really well in Germany and the UK, and predominantly a lot of the homebrew is done in Europe and Russia on like the Spectrum and things like that. I don't know about the Commodore 64, where a lot of the homebrew games are being made, but like some of the standout games on the Spectrum homebrew scene is Russia. You know, they're putting out. But
and Ukraine.
And Ukraine. And the thing is these countries didn't support the Amiga as much as they did the 8-bit micro. They were still playing the 8-bit micros and coding for them now.
Yeah.
So the Amiga, you know, unless you've got a dedicated UK-based or German-based homebrew scene, it's probably why you're not seeing so many on the Amiga, maybe.
Yeah,
it's possible. Yeah, well, just listening to you talking now, I mean, the homebrew scene's going to be hit quite hard then in light of what's been going on in the last year and a half.
There's been so many physical games. I know Paul got a load from Zosa, wasn't it? Is it Zosa?
Yeah, Zosa.
Yeah. And, you can't get them games physical since this whole blow-up.
No.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe I got them because it already kicked off when they were actually in transit.
Yeah, I remember you saying you wondered if they'd come through in the post. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was pot luck, wasn't it?
And they were really good sets as well.
Oh, you got the specky ones, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really it's lovely artwork.
Yeah. Nice effort, that,
that's
isn't
like
it?
a clear box. That's like a clear bit.
Yeah, let me put
They're
you
beautiful, and they were cheap, weren't they? Paul? They weren't expensive.
Is that the Angel one?
Like 20
isn't
quid.
It?
Yeah. So you get the
Sweet Angels or whatever it was called.
It's like a cool blue tape.
Yeah.
You get a poster.
Presentation. Real good.
You get music to listen to that they've done for the game.
Cool.
A CD, so you can put it on your
your
next or whatever.
Well, if only their tanks was as good as their presentation with the game.
Well, it's like see-through on the back, so it's pretty cool because when you put the manual in, it gives you the screenshots.
It's nice when they go the extra mile, isn't it, and shove so much stuff in there.
And I think that's only 20 quid. That's
exactly. That'd be 35 quid plus elsewhere, wouldn't it?
But it was cheaper the more you got as well. Like because of the postage. The postage was the same, so I picked up a couple.
Yeah, did you get Bonnie and Clyde by any chance?
No, I got Metal Man and Travel Through
Through
Time. Had to get
Travel Through Time.
Yeah,
because that's just. I think it's the best racing game I played on the Spectrum. To be honest,
that's an awesome game. That is. God, I played that. I played it until completion. It took me.
I haven't completed it yet.
Yeah. Did you use what do you call them? Save states.
No, I sat there all day.
Fair play. Bloody hell.
It was that good. That game
Nice.
absolutely captured me. And
I remember that day because we were messaging you, weren't we? And it was always on in the background.
And I was
yes, he
all
was
day updating Paul and everyone else in WhatsApp
Wow.
where I was in that game.
I remember because Simon would chime in every now and again going, "You still playing that?" Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair play to you, Scott. That's quite a tough game as well.
It's a really good game. I love that game.
Yeah. I wonder if because that was part 1, wasn't it? I wonder if there'll ever be sequels to that.
That would be good.
Not for a while, I doubt.
Wasn't it called Travel Through Time Part 1? I'm sure it was.
Volume 1, isn't it?
Yeah,
Volume 1. Yeah.
I was going to say something.
I won't spoil it, but the end of the game kind of leads into the sequel.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say
I might see if I can.
And then I realised that I'd probably get in trouble because when you said there's going to be a second one, it was to do with what time period it might be in. I'm not going to say it. It would get me in trouble. Yeah. But yeah, it does look like a good game though. Like, listening to what you were saying and watching Paul play it, and yeah, it does look like a pretty good game. Yeah, it's one I wouldn't mind getting in the future. Right, okay. Well, we've gone 2 hours 10 minutes, so I'm thinking maybe wrap it up here, guys. Unless you've got anything else to say.
No.
What I was going to quickly say on the subject, just to finish off on homebrew, is I don't know if any of you guys bother with sort of Atari homebrew at all, but over on Atari Age, which is obviously a US site anyway, but they're actually they've got like a final chance sale at the moment because a lot of the Atari homebrew they're stopping all the physical releases. I don't know what the reason for it is.
Really?
So there's tons of them, and it's got last chance to buy. Mainly 2600 stuff, but also sort of some of the other Atari consoles and that. So if you do collect for Atari or anything like that, ColecoVision as well, I think some of those it's last chance. So it's worth having a little look over there, because literally once that finishes, that will be the end of the physical homebrews on those.
But you've got an Atari Micro, haven't you, Scott? What's yours? The 65, isn't it? XL?
Yeah, the 65 XE and
XE, yeah.
That some of the homebrew games on there blew me away. I was amazed in how good some of them played. I note that Paul's name was missing.
Yeah. He's a funny son, isn't he? I've got to get him back on here actually, because we ain't had him on here for a while. And
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like Paul. He's funny.
For me,
right.
go on. No, I was just going to say I've got a couple of videos that are almost ready. I've done like a bit on my visits to the RMC Retro Man Cave and to the Arcade Archive. So I'm putting that together now. I'm just waiting for my T-shirt to go through the wash because I want to wear my Arcade Archive T-shirt when I do that.
You know what? I really want one of them.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah,
they're really nice. And I've just got to do the voiceover on my next top 10, which is for the Commodore 64, and this one is top-down races. So
nice.
There's some really cool top-down races.
To that.
But I've kind of included like almost isometric. You just know what I mean. So
yeah,
there's a few that had to
I'll be jealous of a couple.
So yeah, hopefully I'll get that done this week. Yeah, maybe for the weekend.
Martin, you got anything coming up?
I mean, it's still the usual stuff. Obviously, homebrews. I've still got some new homebrews that I need to show off. I actually do have a bunch of bitmap ones because I got them from eBay, which is the best place to buy bitmap software if you want to get it from them, because it's not coming from them. And so they've got a bunch of those to show. I want to do a sort of breakdown of Commodore Corner as well, so how I've now got it working pretty much how I want it now.
might start tagging him. I might start tagging him in.
I was trying to laugh quietly.
Yeah, I'm trying to get nailed down individuals for the quiz because I need to do the next quiz because I've tried to do one every 2 months and we're now just over that period. So I need to get the next one, but it's hard to get people locked in. So that's happening, but yeah, otherwise just the usual bits and pieces. I want to do another painting video. I want to do some Amiga stuff, but yeah, usual kinds of things.
Nice. Scott?
I have got a new Retro Realm shop video dropping tomorrow.
Nice.
And I've been hinting on social media that I've got a secret. I've got something to reveal, and I'll be revealing that in tomorrow night's video.
Cool.
And is it pay-per-view or is it?
Yeah.
Is it a private video?
Are you finally doing your OnlyFans, Scott? Is that what?
Single man now. That's what if that's what he wants to do in his time.
Times are getting hard now. You know, retail business is hit a low.
He's on street corners selling Commodore 64 now.
Yeah, I am.
Only Commodore 64.
That's my job. I'm the pusher.
Yeah, that's true. Anything else, Scott, or is that it?
No, that's the only video I've got in the. Well, Christ, this will be my second video in a week. I think that's the first.
Steady on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tetlee. Anything you got coming up?
I don't know. I don't really pre-plan too much, to be honest. I just do whatever I fancy. Now I've got the cassettes working on the TI-99. I might go through a couple of other those that I've got. So I've got 2 more original ones, and I've got a load of cassettes there, which have just got random games. So I might see if any of them are worth bothering with first. And Lionel on the Ladders. I'm going to do that one because there's no video of this one on YouTube that I can see. So I don't know where to put it.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah. I have absolutely no idea what that game's about. So I might see if I can get that one working. Oh, there we go.
Ladders.
Yeah.
Lionel on the Ladders. So yeah, that'll probably be the next one I do. But apart from that, no idea.
Cool. I've got to catch up on a lot of videos because I've been busy the last few days. So I've been gradually catching up, but there's quite a few of yours, Tetlee, I haven't watched yet. I need to watch. So, but then I've also got loads of things I need to do for my own channel, which I haven't got around to doing either. Martin said about a painting stream. He painted something for me recently, which I was meant to do a follow-up video for on the
I saw that.
collectibles. I haven't done the follow-up video yet. I need to do that.
I won an award for that, my friend.
I was going to say it's a famous one now.
Yeah, he won an award. I mean, he did a great job, and I wanted to do it justice, like get it on my little turntable, and get all decent like filming of it. So I wanted to do it right, and obviously where I've been moving stuff and out, I just haven't been able to. So, but so there's that. I keep saying this. I've got a fairly big pickup that I still haven't done yet. I need to do that.
You sound like Chef.
I know. No, it's bad.
Hey, you can pop on Chef's show on Friday and show it on there.
You know what it is? It's because like where I've put it, right? I've put it in an area where it's difficult to now get it back out of that area in order to do a video. And so I keep looking at it, I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered. Like, it's one of them. Like when you've put it away and you're like, oh, I can't be bothered to get it out. But
is it an Amstrad and it's just too big to fit on the camera?
No. I've already said that. Yes, it's that. And also, Lee's doing a live pickups on Friday. And I bet he ain't even in the chat, is he, while I'm plugging it?
No, of course he ain't.
Nah, of course he ain't.
What a bastard.
He don't watch our stuff.
He's not even subscribed, mate. He's not even subscribed.
Yeah.
He's a check.
At least he stayed for more than just putting it first.
Him in his white fluffy hat, bastard. Right. Anyway, he's got a live pickup stream on Friday. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to jump on there and show some of the bits I've got. Because I've not just got bits like gaming stuff, I've got other stuff as well, which is pretty nice. So, which I'm looking at right now because, yeah, there's some nice bits there, but I'm not giving it away. So yes, I've got loads to do, but it's finding the time. And I've now got a teenager stuck at home with me because he's had his ingrained toenails done today. So yeah, I'm gonna have to try and work it around him. So yeah, always the way. I book some holiday with the idea of being able to do these sort of things, and then someone screws it up. So yeah,
that's life.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so I've got plenty in the works, but yeah, I'll get it done when I can. But first priority is definitely to do the Dreadnought because Martin took the time to do that for me, and it does look really good. So I need to do that.
That was cool.
Yeah, it could have gone either way at one point, Martin, couldn't it? It could have done, but it come out really good. So
it's I don't know if people have watched it, but I did do like a really sped up version of the paint job, and it's actually the first time I've done a video like that, and it actually come out all right. Like you can see all the techniques, but there is a point when I cover it in oil-based paint and go, well, this is it. Now we'll see where this goes. But thankfully it worked out, you know.
I did do a playlist on the Collectibles channel, and it is the journey from the start to where it is now.
Yeah.
And I did put the sped up one in there as well. So the live stream where you did it is also in there. So
yeah.
So if no one's seen it, it's right there. So, but yeah, it was interesting because I could tell Martin was a bit nervous when he put all that stuff on, and it's like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, well, let's be honest, it's not going to look any worse. So, you know,
you should have said to him, actually, Martin, I'll have it back.
Yeah, I'll change my mind. I don't want you to do it. But the thing was, he done it, and the best part was his son didn't want me to have it back, did he?
No, he was like, can we keep that, Dad? I was like, I'm afraid we can't. I know it looks really cool, but we can't keep it.
Yeah, I felt bad then because when he said that, I was like, oh shit. You know, sort of thing. I was almost tempted to buy you another one so that you could do it again.
Yeah, I was like, wait, mate, I've got enough blooming models in here, don't you worry. Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, I've enjoyed this tonight, lads, because obviously we didn't do one last month.
Yeah,
and I haven't done any streams actually for a little while, as people will notice from the beginning of this. I was a little rusty.
Been missing them.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it tonight. It's been fun. So it's been good catching up with everyone. And I've felt lately, like I say, where I've had a lot going on, I feel like I haven't really been in the mix of things. So it's nice tonight to actually have time for us to all have a chat. And you know, I haven't been in the WhatsApp groups much and that, so I've missed things and that. So yeah, I really enjoyed tonight. It's good. Really enjoyed it.
Likewise.
You guys did too. So, and thanks to anyone who's left in the chat. I imagine most people have probably jumped off about now.
I couldn't see any of the chat tonight because on this little phone screen,
it hasn't been quite as busy as it normally is. So, but normally what you find when it goes out, normally people watch it later on. That's normally what you find. So, yeah. But no, I've enjoyed tonight. So thanks, guys. Thanks for coming on. And I think we'll end it. I think we'll end it there. So you know what it's like, tradition here, guys. We've got to do the dodgy 70s game show wave like we do because you know that's how we roll. So there, guys.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.